Am I right? That's an IoT system because it is connected over Bluetooth over your mobile phone. You drive a electric vehicle today, EV, so many cars are there in the market. And if you take up your home, so many smart solutions are there. So the thing is today, embedded systems, IoT, autonomous technologies is already there in our engineering. It's not like something new. Already they are emerged, but they're getting into advanced stage because of AI. So that is what we need to talk about today. So I am not going to talk about what is an embedded system, what is IoT or autonomous, but I am going to tell you how AI is reshaping and what are the new emerging opportunities which are coming and what are the new skill sets you need to learn to cope up with that market. Okay. So let me start off with my session. Yeah, the thing is, after this half an hour or 40 minutes of my session, what is that you guys are going to take from me basically? The thing is, I am going to focus on 5 points. One is let's see what exactly embedded systems, IoT, autonomous technologies are. Then we'll see how AI is changing these domains because a lot of people are talking about something like edge AI, tiny ML, and all. What are these basically, and how are they changing our our current embedded system ecosystem basically that we'll look at, and what is that industry needs? What are the skills? If I want to recruit someone at C-DAC or any other company, what are the skills industry is looking at? That we'll talk about. And the thing is, the next thing, because of this merger of this, what we call as cross domain of embedded systems, IoT, autonomous technologies, and AI, what are the new research? What are the new career opportunities which are emerging? That we'll talk about. And finally, I'll take you to some the students of today. We believe in hands-on, not theoretical knowledge. I expect a student before coming to our company or before coming joining our organization or any organization, they should start building some projects because your projects are the one which is going to speak than your resume. So that is what we talk about. And finally, why CDAC? Why you should do some career diploma program at C-DAC, that we'll talk about. Okay, so these are the takeaways after my session that I promise you that I'm going to answer. So let me start off with the thing is, when I want to talk about an embedded and IoT stack, that too in this AI era. So what are the things which are happening means? What are the layers which we need to understand so that we get into that era? So the thing is, today an embedded system and IoT technology is becoming intelligent. How is that it's going to become intelligent is, the thing is, today we talk about, because when I talk about the layer one of an embedded system, we talk at the lowest physical device, which is the sensor or an actuator basically. So it can be anything because in an IoT era, we talk about the input of data. So where do you get the input from? We get the input from the sensors and actuators. Then what happens is you have a low power controller, a microcontroller, which will minimally process it, something like a STM32 or ESP32, something like that. It will process and give it to the next layer. So what is that next layer is? We talk about something previously, whenever I talk about, when I ask anyone what is an embedded system, all used to tell me, sir, a system which does a dedicated job. It's a combination of a hardware and a software. Okay. So now the definition of the dedicated job, do you still think it is um, it is relevant? I don't think so. It is relevant because today the user wants multiple applications to be run. A simple example I talk about, you take up your mobile phone. When we introduced the mobile phone some 20 years back or 30 years back, we used to see it as only for incoming and outgoing. But today, if I look at a mobile phone, it being an high-end embedded system, it needs multiple things basically. I want to do WhatsApp, I want to do Facebook, you want to listen to my session on this mobile phone. But all these things with a small firmware, it can't happen. So embedded systems are introduced a new thing which is called as a real-time operating systems, embedded Linux and all. Because unless and until you have an operating system, you can't handle so many tasks. If you have a single task or a couple of tasks with a basic firmware or a bare metal program, you can do it. But today, if I want to talk about a firmware, people are talking about a small OS into that. So that will be learning, that will be at the third layer. Then I come to the fourth layer, which is connectivity. Because today, every device they promise to be connected. They can't be standalone because that is how people say anytime, anywhere, any place computing basically. How does that happen is because of connectivity. So what are the things we need to connect basically? It can be a hardware protocol, something like where you interface your sensors, something like a UART, SPI, I2C, something. Or it can be wireless protocols, it can be Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Zigbee, LoRa. So many protocols you need to understand. So the fourth layer comes to be connectivity, because that is the one which will connect you to the server. Am I right? Then now a new thing which got added into this AI era is something called as the edge AI or the cloud, basically, because you send the data. Where do you send the data? You have to send the data to the cloud, and cloud will process the data and give it to the respective stakeholders or give it to the respective applications. But today people are saying, why should a few, so many billions of devices are getting connected, why should we send it to the cloud? Can't I have an edge AI in the middle which can process it and give it to the application immediately, to give it to the controller immediately? A simple example I will tell you is, see, the thing is, today we are talking about autonomous cars. Autonomous car, it's nothing but a driverless car. A car is moving, it has to suddenly brake, it has seen a person or an object, it has to brake. You expect the data to go to the cloud and process it and come back. When will the car brake it? If it is something like a edge AI, a small unit which can minimally process and give it to your embedded system, it can immediately break, it can immediately mitigate from getting into an accident. So edge AI is playing a very big role in this era. So people are talking about analytics at the edge, tiny ML at the controller, something like digital twins and so. And finally, you have something called the applications, because all these applications, the data which is coming from the sensors have to be seen somewhere. Where is that you're going to see it? You need a dashboard, basically. So, and apart from that, people are talking about voice user interfaces today, because I don't even want a mobile app. I want to talk. I would say, Alexa, do it for me, do this like me, for me, and switch on the fan, switch off the fan, something like that. So all these new things have come up in the market because of this AI era, because our rule-based engines, which were called embedded systems, are changing to be more intelligent, basically. They're learning from the things, they're learning from the environment. And apart from that, one new thing which has come up across embedded and IoT market is security. Security is a must today. You can't say that I'm an engineer, I don't know security. You are nowhere in the market. So security should be everywhere. You need to understand what is a secure boot. You need to understand what are the encryption protocols to be used in IoT, and what is over-the-air programming. Because today we see billions of devices coming up. You want to make a small change. It can't be that you go to individual node and change it. It should be over the air. Anything should be over the air updates. Okay. So the thing is, if you look at the complete AI-enabled embedded system, it combines the sensing, it combines the computing, it combines the connectivity, intelligence, applications, security into all into one pipeline, basically. So today, you say, I am an embedded and IoT engineer, you should understand all this. Okay. So the thing is, how AI is changing it. How AI is, because of addition of AI, what is the advantage an embedded system is getting? So if you want to look at how, what is the advantage an embedded system is getting, as I clearly told you that previously embedded systems, as you said, it used to do a dedicated job, it used to do some minimal jobs. It had a fixed logic. I used to write the logic and it used to take care of that. Okay. So, but today, if you say an embedded system is fixed logic, I think this era will not accept. You should say that my embedded system is intelligent. My embedded system is adaptive to the environment. My embedded system is autonomous. That means it will do by itself. So how do I bring in that? That AI is doing it for you, yes. So the thing is, first thing which AI is changing is a rule-based, from a rule-based system to an intelligent device. A simple example I'll tell you here. You are sitting in a classroom where generally what we do, we set up all the ACs to either 16 or so. It can be that people are sitting there, either maybe sweating or people may be there, that they may be it completely chilled, basically. So if the system is intelligent enough that it sees that it's too chilled the environment, let me put it on 24. So that is where intelligence comes. How that happens is, the intelligence is because of AI. It will learn from the environment. So that is what an embedded product is expected today. It should learn, it should adapt, and it should optimize. So from rule-based systems to intelligent devices, that is the first thing which is happening. The second thing I would say is how it is changing is, people say that I want an embedded system to take decision immediately. That means latency, a faster response. How do I get it? I can't get it if I send the data to the cloud somewhere. I need an edge AI beside my IoT device which can minimally process it and give it to me so that I can take a decision. So for that, edge AI is getting introduced. That is becoming very important in the market. You may, so that is very much important, basically, so that the dependency on the cloud is completely reduced, basically. So only the all the raw data which comes to the edge, it will minimally process and give it to the give it to the your IoT nodes basically. And then comes something called tiny ML on microcontrollers. When I say tiny ML, why do we need tiny ML? Why can't it be general AI ML models basically on the microcontrollers are generally considered in in IoT environment. They are considered to be constrained. That means they are low power, low memory, and they're mainly running on batteries. When I want to the constraint which IoT nodes has, if I want to put an AI ML model onto it, a full-fledged AML, it will die. It can't even sustain for a day, or it can't even because power consumption. So if I have something like tiny, which can be introduced on your IoT nodes, that means a minimal, I mean, so that the IoT node itself can take a decision. So people are introducing something called tiny ML basically, so that minimal sensing data can be processed immediately there and given it so that you can take a decision. So this is the third component, how AI is changing the embedded systems. The fourth component, what we talk about is predictive maintenance today, because a lot of IoT nodes we are generally using for giving us the inputs. Simple example, today industry is talking about industry 4.0, where a lot of IoT nodes are being put in the industries. Why do we have to put IoT nodes in the industry? And industry, if you look at, for example, you have a lot of machinery. Generally, what happens is a machinery can go down at any point of time and go, and it is a lot of AMC cost. If you stop the factory for a couple of days, it's $1 million loss for the company. So if I can predict well in advance, 1 week before that, boss, your machine is making more sound, your machine is not vibrating properly, your machine is going down. If I can predict and tell him because of my sensors, he will be able to maintain it quickly. So that is what people are looking at, sir. Even a lot of flyovers, people are planning to do this. A lot of companies, people are, because I know so many startups who are working on predictive maintenance basically. Okay. So then the fifth component, autonomous. Today we say a driverless thing, it should be AI basically. AI and a sensor fusion, which will help to do that. And finally, one more component, the most important thing which is coming up is, even I see a lot of our developers today, I see they use Codex and all this, your Claude and all. So AI assisting testing and firmware development. Okay, firmware development, sir. I think I would say that is AI is changing it. AI is developing the code for you. But one thing, a threatening point here is, unless until we know what is a firmware, what does it do, what is a hardware, what does it do, writing a firmware just by using AI is very dangerous. So I would say that you get equipped with all the knowledge you need to have, and then learn AI. That will help you to do better your code, better validate your code. Okay, but still AI is able to do that. But if you want to validate it, you need to be knowledgeable in that domain. Okay, so as very clear, AI in the AI era, embedded systems are becoming smarter, faster, adaptive, and more autonomous. Yeah. So the thing is, what is the market demand today? So you may be asking me, sir, what is the market demand? Why I'm talking about AI era and all? The thing is, as I clearly said, has become important, but it is moving from cloud to edge, as I clearly told you, because of latency, privacy, and even cost. The second thing is electrification. We are seeing so many EV vehicles. Because of EV vehicles, lot of triple E guys are getting more opportunities in the market, because they need to understand how the EV works, what is the battery management, and all these things we need to look at. The third component I would say is everything is getting connected, sir. So today you say that I don't know wireless protocols, I don't know how devices are getting connected. You are in a backlog. You can't be, because IoT is becoming the default everywhere. Everything should be connected so that I can control from anywhere. The fourth thing is, if you look at security, as I clearly told you, it has become default in any IoT or embedded system today. It can't be a feature; it is a mandate. Just keep that in mind. And as I clearly told you that a lot of autonomy is getting into the domains. So a lot of you need to have a lot of things where there is no manual intervention, especially in IoT devices. They say that I deploy and leave it. It should take a call. You can't say that I'll come, I'll configure and all. It should be autonomy in embedded devices also. And the most important thing which we are sitting here today is, I can't say that I know only hardware. I can't say that I know only firmware. I can't say that I only know cloud or AI or security. You should say, I'm an engineer who has all this knowledge. I know hardware, I know firmware, I know cloud, I know AI, and I know security. Because cross domain engineers are more valuable in the market today than a single domain engineers. Just keep that in mind. So the complete talent mix is shifting, sir. That is what is expected in today's era. So the thing is, India's market is very clear because we are more moving towards semiconductors. A lot of schemes are coming up, a lot of things because we have a lot of targets of indigenization. Indigenous electronics should come up so that we don't depend on other countries. A lot of new schemes are coming up. So be prepared. The market is good for electronics, electrical guys. Be prepared for that. And a lot of things are happening in the market, especially in EV market, connected vehicle market. That is because V2X is one of the protocol, and it has become a mandate recently. It has become a gazette that future vehicles should have V2X. So in the next 5 years, you'll see a lot of V2X and a lot of smart mobility. That is something like autonomous and all. So the thing is, be prepared for that because our strategic position of India is changing a lot. Our vision is changing. Okay, so we'll have a good future for all the Indians who are working on embedded IoT and autonomous systems. So the talent gap. So where is the talent gap and where is the skill demand? The skill demand is, if you look at, as I clearly told you that today you should be cross domain. Cross domain is very important because products expect that. So you take up a lot of startups, they'll be cross domain. Why? Because they have to understand each and everything. They can't have multiple people for a single job basically. So that is what is become important. Cross domain has become important. And one more thing is, whatever we are learning in colleges and all are more theoretical. If you come with a theoretical knowledge at C-DAC, we never accept them. We say that, did you do hands-on? Did you do a project? Show us your project. What are the challenges you faced in a project? So what are the debugging tools you have used? Did you deploy it somewhere? Did you deploy it? Did you develop a POC, a proof of concept, so that you tell me that it is feasible? So that is what we are expecting, sir. Even in colleges, this is what is very important. A student should be hands-on. He can't be theoretical anymore in this era. And the third thing, if you talk about safety and compliance, today safety has become very much important in automotive and industrial and medical because they are, if any problem comes, any safety issues come, any compliance issues come, so the whole system will fail. So because of that, a lot of things are coming up, something like a critical safety in automotive, something like standards like 26262. So many things are coming up, sir. In the medical, a lot of new standards are coming because we are wearing a lot of medical device on our body. So any system fails, the whole system is gone. It will be a hazardous thing. So safety and compliance, new things are coming up, new jobs are coming up in the market. The thing is, and the final is scale problem. Scale is, sir, today we develop on one device, we think about one device, but I'm talking about billions of devices getting connected. But are we thinking about that? The platform which you are going to develop is thinking about that. Don't think about coding today. As I clearly told you, coding anyone can do, but our design approach is very important. What are that we are going to choose? What is the controller we are going to choose? What are the sensors we are going to choose? How do we scale them? All these things we need to think about. Then the last comes is coding. Just don't tell, I have just coded, sir, I have done that, and all these things will not work out in today's era, sir. So that is the talent gap and skill demand. So people are expecting all this in the companies. Yeah. So the thing is a student roadmap. Okay, when I say about student roadmap, what do we expect from students? And what is a student supposed to do when he joins a engineering college or anywhere wherever he joins? So I look at a student who is really interested in embedded systems, IoT, and autonomous. This should be the this should be your roadmap in this AI era. So what is that is in 1 to 2 years, in the first 1 to 2 years, don't just join the college and do routine subjects. They are there just for your passing and getting a degree. But apart from that, I want you guys to learn C programming in and out in the first year. Learn a bit of Python because in this AI era, you can't say I don't know Python. Then, because you are an electronics engineer, your basics should be very strong in electronics because how the components work, that is very important. And you should start developing the first year only on some prototyping development boards, basic boards like something like Arduino and ESP. Then the second year, you should improve yourself, get into much higher boards, something like STM32 or a bigger board, something like Raspberry Pi, where you can put up your operating systems and all. Work on communication protocols, especially something like I2C, UART, SPI and all. Very important. Any industry you go, first question they ask, what is UART, what is SPI, what is I2C and all. Then learn something how I can port an embedded Linux onto my embedded system. That is very much important. Then advance yourself in the third and fourth year, where I learned what are real-time operating systems, what is this lightweight operating systems, what about security, how can I secure my system, what is HAI, people are talking about HAI, what is that, and if I'm interested in a mechatronic sort of thing, what is this robotics and all these things. So this should be your plan. And in your final year, you should be able to at least deploy a project, deploy a small POC, and you should publish your code. Don't restrict yourself to publishing in your college or anything. Put it on GitHub, put it on LinkedIn. People are looking at it. People will be observing what you are doing. People will be picking up immediately. Because I know so many of my students who put up in LinkedIn, they are getting selected. Because people watch you, people observe you, what you are doing, what is there on the GitHub, and see how did you develop your code. See, resume, we can put 100 things, but these are the things which are going to speak. Okay, so that is what. So today we expect graduates who are hands-on, cross-domain, ready for industry and research. Yeah. So the thing is, what are the tools you need to learn before jumping into any company is, I would say that you dedicate yourself, you put yourself that what should I learn in the hardware? What are the languages? Language doesn't mean speaking language, it is programming language. What language should I learn? What are the development tools? What are the communication protocols? People are saying AI edge. What should I learn in that? And finally, one important thing is testing and debugging. Testing and debugging, lot of industries looking at, because AI can't do the job. Because AI can't work on logic analyzer, AI can't do a job of an oscilloscope, AI can't do a job of a serial debugger. So if you know that, you're ready for the market. So hardware, you can look at various hardwares, something like ESP32, as I told, STM32, Raspberry Pi and all, Arduino, Jetson Nano. Languages, C is a must. Without C, don't get into the market. C++ is an add-on, and Python is an added advantage today. Development tool, you should work on Git, use publish your code on Git and all the things. And communication protocols, UART, SPI, I2C, all this wireless pro communication like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, LoRa, and all important. NJI, you can load something like TinyML, TensorFlow, and all. And testing and debugging is very important, sir. You should have hands-on how to connect your probes and all to a logic analyzer, see what is the output, oscilloscopes, serial debuggers, so that you can debug your code. So these tools surely will improve your more chances of employability. If you compare with others, you'll be more employable, and you will be easily able to readily put into the projects than giving you a separate training by the industry, because separate training by the industry will kill their time and kill their product time. If you're ready with that, they can directly put with a minimal training onto their projects. So this is very important for you guys. So with this, I think I'll move on a bit to make you understand what do we do at C-DAC. Okay, and especially at embedded systems R&D division, what do we do? What are the projects? And one more thing I would say is, if you look at our team, we are a team of 65 plus engineers. I would say that more than 50 plus engineers are my students who joined C-DAC, and they did a course with us. We picked them up because they're in those 6 months, they'll learn whatever I told you in and out, all the tools, and they are employable also. So that is why we mostly take our engineers only, so that they can work with us and they can be directly put into the thing. So doing a diploma at C-DAC, this is an advantage basically. So you are readily employable. Okay. And we have around 9 projects, around 40 publications, and 5 awards and 3 patents. I think, and uh, and one more best part of our C-DAC center at Hyderabad is all the engineers who are working on projects. They only take the sessions. They only handle that diploma basically. The complete technical sessions are taken by them. So if you take up the PGCP ESD, that is a postgraduate certificate program in embedded system design, our team is going to take it. Okay, so these are the things just for your information. And some of the projects which I want to show you, which is developed by us and our students, is so if you look at this is what is called as a wireless automatic weather station. Weather station, we call it as waves. And this is very much, if you look at today for an agriculture scientist, these units have become very much important, because this unit, if you look at, has various sensors. It has a temperature sensor, it has an RH sensor, soil moisture, leaf wetness, soil temperature. So many sensors are fitted to it so that it can collect the data. This is an IoT device and give it to a cloud. A cloud will process the data and give it to the farmer or an agriculture scientist. So what is the advantage I'm getting with this? So you may be asking, what is the problem statement, sir? The problem statement is pest and disease forewarning to a farmer. Today, a farmer is affected because of the climatic conditions. He doesn't understand when a pest or disease can attack his system. Say attack his crop, sorry. So the thing is, generally 30%, 40% a crop is getting affected. Then he'll try to put the pesticides. But by the time 40% of his crop is grown, so how do we save it? So you tell the farmer 1 week or 10 days before, boss, your crop is going to get affected because the parameters are like this. My sensors have detected that the parameters are like this, your crop is going to affect. So well in advance, 1 week before, he'll put the pesticide so that he can control the crop. This is one of the system developed by us, and this is given to a lot of agriculture institutes. They're buying it from us. The second component I would say is something called Ultra Smart. It's an ultrasonic device, sir. So this is a device. It's a one device which can be used for multiple applications because it's a sensing device. It's a field level device. It will sense. It is based on LoRaWAN. That is the LoRa communication goes to the server and gives to the respective stakeholders. A simple device. It can be used for garbage bins because garbage bins it can tell the fill level. It can be used for water level. It can be used for automatic doors. It can be used for sewage management and all these things basically. So a lot of things, a simple device which can do a lot of jobs basically. Okay. So this is what is one of the product which we have developed. The second thing is the most important, I would say, is as I clearly told you that V2X is the one which is going to take up now. The thing is, V2X is nothing but vehicle to everything. Just for your information, vehicle to everything means vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to infrastructure, vehicle to network, vehicle to pedestrian. So these are some of the things which are going to come up. Tomorrow, your cars will have these devices. Your vehicles will have these devices. So it's called an onboard unit, which will be put. It's an IoT device which is put within your car so that it can sense the environment. What it will do is it will tell what is your speed, what is your position, that is something like lat long, what is your direction and all. It will be sharing the information with other cars so that other cars also know what is your behavior, what you're doing. You suddenly break it. Today, what happens? We'll go and hit it because we didn't know the information. We are suddenly broken. But these devices will tell you well in advance, at least just two seconds before, so that you can put the brake. So I am going at a very high speed. So these are some of the things like in our roadside units, which are put up at the junctions, which will be intimating your car. Boss, this is a school zone. Go at a very low speed. The weather conditions are very, very bad. It is raining heavily. Go at a very low speed. You are going at a very high speed. Or there is a road construction happening. Divert your way. There is an accident happen. Divert your way. So India needs these devices, sir, because road accidents have increased in the country, and they all say that 78% of the road accidents are because of driver negligence. So these are the things. Recently, it has become a gazette that OBUs have to be fit up in the cars. So in the next 5 years, all your cars will come out with OBUs. So these are the things, sir. Just wanted to tell you that we, from last 12 years, we have been working on this, and this is a mature product which is taken up by some of the companies basically. Okay. So apart from that, as I clearly told you that technology, IoT is not restricted only to the hardware. IoT is not restricted only to the firmware. IoT is not restricted only to the communication. Today, people are saying, what is the security of your product? I buy a watch. Can you guarantee me that my watch is not sending data to China? Can anyone guarantee me that? No one can guarantee because we say if we buy an Apple watch, we are more secured because Apple looks at a lot of things. But other watches which are buying in the market, can we say they are secured? If you say you are secured, how can you say it is secured? Are there any grading mechanisms? Are there any mechanisms someone has certified telling that it is secured? No one does that. So that is where C-DAC is playing a very big role, sir. So we are doing something for any IoT device. We are creating a grading mechanism like a star mechanism, like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, a secured. So what we do is we do something called hardware security, firmware security, wireless communication security, and see what are these devices. Is there anything in it? We open the devices, we test them, we grade them, we give a rating telling that this is 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. 1 star means minimal security, 2 star means medium security, 3 star means highest security. So that is what we have. We have set up a lab for this, and we are doing. We are supporting STQC for doing this. And we have some of the labs at C-DAC. We call it as a smart city lab, where we set up a complete smart city within our lab, where we developed a complete 3D model, where we have put up a lot of IoT devices. We have put up a lot of OT infrastructure, that is operational technology infrastructure, like a transportation system, power grids, conveyor belts, factories, and all. We put up a lot of things, and we create a complete simulation environment. People come here, students come here, CISOs come here. They learn a lot of things. They attack the system. They defend the system. They do a lot of things here. It's a complete security system we have created so that you can learn. We want more secure Indians in the market. So we create that environment so that they come and learn here. They attack the system completely. They see what is happening if I attack a system. What is it? What are the case studies? How can I attack a system? How can I defend a system? All that thing they'll be learning here. So this is one of the lab I would say. And So some of the activities which a future IoT is looking at is a combination of IoT and satellite. So that is what we are working, sir. We are working at all these things. So recently we did a lot of testing because we felt that satellite is one communication which will work at any area. Because some of our communications like 3G, 4G, or even 5G, they fail at some remote places where there are no base stations. But satellite works everywhere. So in those situations, how can we connect? So we are trying to connect our IoT devices with our LoRa communication with satellite. So that's an area which we are working. We are able to achieve some. We are able to complete 70% of it, and once we achieve 100% in the next meeting, we'll share you how did we achieve and all those things. So this is one area where we are working on. So this is one of the emerging thing which is happening in the market. And one of the things, as I clearly told you, that autonomous vehicles, yes, we are into that also, where we are working on a tractor. So the thing is, you may say, sir, are there no autonomous tractors in the market? There are. But do you know the cost of those autonomous tractors? The cost is around 55 lakhs to 75 lakhs. An autonomous tractor being such a cost in the Indian environment, can you expect any farmer to buy? No. But we want to bring it Indianized, indigenous autonomous box for the vehicle. So we are closely working with Mahindra and Mahindra, where we are developing an autonomous box. So that the cost, if a tractor is 6 lakhs, we want to bring that autonomous box to around 2 lakhs. With 8 lakhs, we are trying to bring it to an autonomous for our country, basically. That is what we're trying to look at. We're at the mature stage now. We are almost the final stage. So once that is done, we'll be able to reach that box so that that box works for any tractor, so that to make it smart or autonomous. So that is what we are working on. So these are some of the projects where we are working on at this point of time. So the thing is, with my observation or where we see in different projects, what are the challenges we have now? The challenges today, as I clearly told you, cyber security has become a big challenge, because adding security onto IoT device, that is constrained device, how do we do it? So a lot of work is happening. This is a new thing. I think I expect all the students to look into that. The second thing is real data time fusion in autonomous system. Today, autonomous car you take up, it has so many sensors. I don't say one sensor or two sensors. It is having thousands of sensors. How do you fuse it? How do you fuse it and give me a dedicated response? That is very much important. How do I fuse that data so that my autonomous car behaves properly? So that is very much important, sir. You need to look at. And now the next thing is hardware software co-design. Hardware software co-design is previously what used to happen is we used to develop a hardware, we used to develop a software. But that's not going to happen in today's era. You develop the software. You need to understand how I can bring low power into that. So hardware and software should go together. It should be like a co-design, hand in hand. So that is what is very important. And as I clearly told you, that safety critical systems is one of the important component, which is very much important today. That has become a research challenge, because a lot of you take up medical field, you take up automotive field, you take up all these safety critical is very much important. So new jobs for you guys. And apart from that, scalable testing environments. Today, we don't have an external environment where we go and directly deploy it. If it fails, it's a costly business for the company. So companies are expecting, can you test that environment in the lab before going there? Yes, we can do it. If we have something called a detailed twin or a simulation environment, basically. Can you imagine that? I think Singapore city, the complete Singapore city, they have created detailed twin. You may be asking what is a detailed twin is. It's a replica of a real environment in your lab. So whatever is happening in real world, it is happening in your lab also. So you understand what, where is the problem, so that before going to the real field, you're understanding at the lab only. So you need a detailed twin, sir. So that is very much important. People are looking at that. So industry, the cost of the industry will gradually reduce if you have a detailed twin. You will easily able to respond to the problems if you have a detailed twin. So these are some of the challenges which I could note down and share it with you. So the thing is, the valuable combos today, if you look at, is you are good at power electronics, embedded control, perfect EV market is there, industrial automation is there for you. You are good at embedded Linux, security, over-the-air programming, connected devices are there for you. Perception, sensor fusion, real-time optimization. Yes, you have robotics, drones, ADAS systems for the cars, all this, you can easily support them. Hardware validation, automation, test engineering, production readiness. If you have these hybrid profiles with you, then you are ready for the market. Industry will pick you like anything. Okay, so keep that in mind with this. And what is that recruiters are looking like? For example, at C-DAC as a team lead for IoT and embedded systems, what do I look at? I look at is if your fundamentals are very strong, that is very much important, especially C programming. C++ is add-on, and controllers you should understand in and out. Microcontroller. Even one controller you are able to tell me in and out, that is good for me. I won't expect you to learn on 10 controllers. Learn one controller, learn in and out. Then second thing is you should be looking at data sheets. You should understand what are the interfaces, like something like I2C, SPI, UART. If you don't know, please do it. Third thing is hands-on experience. Do some projects, boss. Don't just read theory. STM32 has this, STM32. STM32, how do I interface? Let me interface sensor to STM32. Learn, do hands-on. Then platforms. Apart from this hardware, learn firmwares like something like RTOS, embedded Linux, and all these things. Debugging skills, touch oscilloscope, work on these logic analyzers, debuggers, hands-on. That is very important. And work on some prototype, document it, and share it on GitHub, LinkedIn. People will look at it. And awareness of the complete system. See, whenever I ask anyone, any student, so what did you do in the project? They'll talk only about hardware. And one more student will talk about only firmware. I don't want that, boss. I want a complete awareness of the system. Every student should know what is the hardware, what is the firmware, what is the communication, what is AI, what is HI, and all those things. If he's working on that, okay. And you should be, you should have a complete design choices. If I ask you why did you choose this sensor, you should be able to immediately answer me. Why did you choose this controller? Design choices are very important for me because today you are going to you are going to come to my company. I expect that. Okay. So the thing is, so recruiters today prefer who can build, debug, explain the complete system as a whole. Okay. So that is what is very important. And the thing is, what is your placement readiness checklist? I am going for a placement. What is that I am going to do? What should we do? We should work on at least 2 to 3 working projects, especially microcontroller projects. Don't say I'm working on AI because I shouldn't say that. Recently, I went to one of the college where I have seen out of 21 projects, I have evaluated 21 projects, 19 are on AI. No one touched the hardware at all. If that is the case for an electronics in there, sorry, boss. We're not going to look at that. We want you to work on hardware. Yes, AI is an add-on, but AI is not the full. I want you guys to be strong at electronics. I want you guys to be strong at communication. AI is an added advantage for me. Okay, keep that in mind. And work on communication protocols. And finally, create a GitHub profile, put your code there, put your README there, everything there. And C programming, understanding what is C programming, how do we program and all is very important. Project explanation, understand the project. You should be able to explain your project well because so that I can ask you questions on the project. And as I told you, complete system awareness and a strong resume basically. From starting, I'm telling you, a good resume says what the student knows. A good project proves it, what you did. That is more important for me. Yeah. So as I clearly told you that in this era, if you look at what are the roles, emerging job roles. When I talk about what are the opportunities, previously when students used to come to me, they all used to join as embedded software in there. Okay, but today the era has changed. Today people are looking at firmware security engineer because you learn security, hardware validation in there because you learn to debug systems, IoT solution in there because IoT has become prominent. You learn what is the connectivity, how to connect with the cloud and all. Automotive evidence, automotive because automotive also everything has become connected today. Lot of EVs, lot of ECUs and all in vehicle networks and all. That has created new job basically. As I clearly told, safety critical systems, functional safety has become a new role. Edge AI engineer because Edge AI has become very important. Robotics or autonomous system in there. Embedded Linux engineer. So these are the new things which have come up. So the thing is, you might have clearly understood the clear future is cross domain. Cross domain who can secure your system, who can make your system intelligent, and you can make your system reliable. So that is what companies are looking at. Sir. So what students should do from tomorrow is, as I clearly told you that if you haven't started, please start from today after my session. All the electronic engineers, I'm guaranteeing you that if you can start this journey, you're ready for the market. Okay. Pick one microcontroller, learn C, write a firmware. Okay. At least try to develop 2 to 3 today. You have so many resources. You can pick up from there, learn it from it, write your own code, put it up on GitHub, showcase your work, and start working on reading data sheets, all the notes and all. Participate in hackathons, make up your ideas because so many companies are looking at that. If you're good at ideas, if you're good at hackathons, and because companies will understand that this fellow as a group, he can work in a team. He's good because he has already cracked hackathons and he can easily solve problems. And try to learn security because today security by design has become a must. Because tomorrow company will ask you, how can you say that your POC is secure? Did you think about security? You should say, yes, I have thought about security. Learn that and focus on how I can deploy these systems basically. So that is what today only. It's not too late, guys. Today start small and so that you can build upon and learn by doing, not by just reading. Okay, that is very much important. So the thing is, finally, I think before closing my session, how can C-DAC help you guys? How can C-DAC help you guys is C-DAC has a PG diploma program in embedded systems that will, whatever I told you with my experience because our students are doing that. My students are doing that. Okay. The thing is, they have hands-on learning because we create that hands-on because we teach less theory, more lab. Because we don't believe in theory because theory you can also read, but a lab is what you do. Okay, that is more important. We make our students spend their time more in the lab because we want them to burn their hands. Unless until you burn your hands, you will never learn. The second thing is industry relevant skills. That is what we believe in. We teach them on C, we teach them on controller programming, we teach them controllers, RTOS, embedded Linux, IoT, and recently we have introduced even Edge AI for you guys. Okay, so that we are in par with the market basically. And tools, platforms, everything, whatever industry ready tools we are, and a mini project we make them to do so that we ask them to develop a prototype and all will be mentored by my team who are engineers who are developing the products for the nation. Okay, and we make them ready so that all the emerging jobs which I told you, all those they fit into basically. Okay, and we bridge them so that they're ready for the market, they're industry ready, so that the companies who come, they don't need additional training, they directly push them into the projects basically. So the thing is, our course literally helps you to be hands on, and we also create cross domain engineers so that they not only know hardware, they know firmware, they know communication, they know even what is that edge AI, and they also work on prototypes basically. Okay, so that is what. So the thing is, conclusion of my talk today, as I clearly told you, convergence is the one which is driving innovation today. So you should be converged, you should be prepared to get converged. Cross disciplinary, you should be cross disciplined today. You should learn everything. It's not that I am good at this. You should become master of all. That is very important. And try to don't sit at home reading. Try to contribute to open source project. Try to participate in hackathons, ideathons. Okay, look at that. Today, I would say that the gap isn't in degrees, boss. Degrees you get, but hands-on experience, cross-domain engineers, that is what industry expects. They are expecting these things so that you can be reliable and you can be secure. You can make the system secure. So that with that, I say that thank you very much. Miles to go before I sleep because you have a lot of things to do. Today is the right time. Start off today, as I clearly told you that start small, learn consistently, and do while learning. While doing, you learn a lot of things. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shrikant.
Yeah.
Uh, we'll open for question and answers. Yeah, there is a question like if 2013 students are eligible for this program. Yes.
Kumar, 2000, because our C-DAC PG diploma programs don't have any age criteria. Of course, 2013 students are eligible only, but there is a that they get they will not get enough placement opportunities like all other recent pass out students will get.
We'll wait for one more minute. in case if we have any question. Is there any C-DAC course for engineering pursuing students in their particular domain? Yes, we have specific courses in AI, big data analytics, embedded systems, advanced computing, and also we have a course in artificial intelligence. Yes.
No. They are asking for the pursuing students. Those who actually our PG diploma courses, those who graduated only they are eligible. Those who completed their graduation they are eligible. Of course, for pursuing students also we have some kind of skill short-term programs like chariot programs and all. So Srikanth, you can just give some to
Yeah, I'll
brief
be
about the
covering that
chariot program so
part
that
in my session. Sure.
Yeah, I think
okay,
Kumar will
okay,
cover
The
fine.
that.
skilling
Yeah.
initiatives.
Yeah. Yes, okay.
See, apart from the PG diploma courses, PG certificate programs, we have other skilling opportunities that I'll be sharing in the next session. Someone type
Can
again.
move to the next, Kumar.
Fine.
Yeah. I think, thank you all. Kumar, we can move on, or what is that?
Yeah. I'll start my presentation.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible, Kumar.
Just a- So only the presentation slide is visible, right, Sharon? Can you confirm me once?
Only presentation slide is visible.
Okay, fine. So very good morning. My name is M. Kumar. I'm going to take a session on advanced computing and software development, recent trends, career opportunities, and industry readiness. Uh, so, as you are aware, we are entering the workforce at one of the most exciting times in the history of technology because we are witnessing various technologies, namely artificial intelligence, cloud computing, data science, cybersecurity, and software development. So, artificial intelligence is transforming how software is built, and cloud computing is enabling businesses to scale globally, and cybersecurity has become a priority because it is used to secure your systems and networks, and data is driving decision making across various industries. So this creates these technologies, they create tremendous opportunities for engineers who are willing to learn and adapt. And today's session has three main objectives. The first objective is we need to understand the major technology trends shaping the future, and we'll be exploring various career opportunities available for engineering graduates and learn what industry expects from fresh graduates and how to prepare effectively. So this is not a technical lecture. So think of it as a roadmap discussion that will help you make informed career options or decisions. Okay, so at the end of the session, I hope you will have a clear understanding of where opportunities lie and how to position yourself for success. So, Sharon, are you able to see the second slide?
Yes, it is
Okay.
moved.
So, as the title says, advanced computing in software development. When you hear the word advanced computing, many people think about supercomputers and large fancy systems. But it's not always true. In software development perspective, advanced computing means designing systems that go beyond a single machine. Because nowadays, like as a developer, you may be working on a single machine, but advanced computing systems, these systems are distributed, they are scalable, they are intelligent, they are built using intelligent architectures, and they handle massive concurrent load, process huge data sets, and embed AI directly into their application layer. So these are some of the characteristics of advanced computing systems. So they are, and there are four major pillars that are associated with advanced computing. So the first pillar is distributed systems. That means the computing resources are distributed across the network. It's not a single server. And also most of the systems are developed using microservices architecture. Like each and every component will act as a microservice, and these microservices are integrated into building a full-fledged advanced computing system. And most of these applications are cloud native applications. That means they are built for deploying on the cloud environment, and will be using container orchestrated deployment for deploying such advanced computing applications. And nowadays, because of the rapid advancement in the artificial intelligence, these AML models are integrated and into the systems, and these AI models, they make these applications intelligent, and they can handle the data continuously, and also they can take the decisions independently, and they can automate the workflows also. So this is what is happening nowadays using AI integration into the systems. And also these systems, they work on real-time data. So they are supposed to process the data that come to it in real-time environment. Okay, so these are some of the characteristics of advanced computing systems in software development perspective. So what is a software? So as we all know, software is nothing but it is a set of instructions, data, and rules that tell computer hardware what to do. Like when you design a hardware, you need to have a software to run that particular hardware, right? So this software can be in the form of a program, it can be applications, it can be operating system, and it can be a software platform that turn the raw computing data or the power into something useful. So without software, hardware has no practical value. So this is the truth. Okay, so each and every hardware is driven by the software, the underlying intelligence that is meant to drive that particular hardware. So when we talk about software, there are two major categories of that. One is the system software, and the second is application software. As the name says, system software, uh, these software, they drive the systems. Like they are like operating systems, they are like device drivers, they are the firmware that run the hardware itself. And when it comes to application software, these application softwares uh, are used to build large scale applications. Like you have your Gmail application, you have your Netflix application, and you have your Uber, your Amazon retail or e-commerce website, banking applications. So these all such applications come under the application software. So the apps, websites, and the tools people use in their day-to-day life to get things done are known as the application software. So why software development matters? Because we are talking about software development. Why it matters? Because these software, they drive the innovation. So they turn your new ideas into real usable products at a pace that no other discipline matches. So when you look last 20-25 years of the Indian economy, most of the innovation happened in the software area, that is in the IT sector. Okay, and also this software, they power the economic growth. Like major share of the GDP is contributed by export of this particular software and the digital products. And this software, they connect the world. Like they become the underpins communication, and they connect various commercial applications, healthcare applications, governance applications at global scale. And these softwares, they solve real world problems. So these softwares can be used to automate manual work and make complex systems usable by everyone. And also these software, they create careers, because uh, someone should be there to develop this software, right, to develop such applications. So this software is one of the fast growing, highest demand skill set for graduates who are going to graduate in 2026. So as future engineers, you may not merely writing the code, you are building solutions that affect millions of people's lives. So software is powering every industry, as I told you. Like you can see this software in various fields. In the banking sector, the software is used for online transactions, for detecting the financial frauds, and also for other banking related applications. And in e-commerce, they are widely used in retail sector, like online shopping applications like Amazon, Flipkart, Mantra, and other applications. So these are some of the examples of software powered applications. And in transportation also, software is widely used. Like you have your Ola, Uber, and Rapido, and other applications. All such applications are built for transportation sector. And in healthcare also, it powers the healthcare industry. Like it is used to diagnose the patients, and it is used to maintain the records of various patient data, and also it is used for predicting the health of the patient. And in the manufacturing sector also, the software is used for predictive maintenance and for automating the various processes that happen in the industry. So this software is no longer an industry of its own. It is a collective tissue running every other industry. Okay. So this has become a backbone of modern business operations, and this software is through digital transformation, it is accelerating across various sectors, and through AI driven innovation in everyday products, and through automation and intelligent decision making systems, we are going to develop such software systems. So the key message is software is no longer an industry, it covers every industry. So it is not a standalone industry, so it covers each and every industry, uh, starting from banking, e-commerce, transportation, healthcare, and manufacturing. So, what are the key technology trends reshaping software development? Like as you know, in 20 since last four years, we are seeing the recent advancement in AI technology, right? So we started with this large language models, and these large language models are backbone for this generative AI systems. So these generative AI systems are basically meant for generating the content. So when we talk about the content, it can be a multimodal content. It can be a text, it can be a image, audio, or video. And also we are witnessing AI agents. These AI agents are autonomous systems, or the autonomous agents. They handle multiple step workflows, and they use it for automating the applications or the workflow. And these AI agents, they can connect to various tools also. Like if you have any tool, software tool, or any API or external system, these AI agents can connect to external tools through MCP protocols. And also we have AI assisted development. Many of the developers, they are using the AI assisted tools like Copilot, ChatGPT, Claude. These are used for generating the code, for testing, for reviewing the code. And so these tools are used to improve the productivity of a software developer. Okay. So and also the third technology trend that is shaping the software development is the cloud native applications, like microservices, serverless architectures, containers, Kubernetes. So they have become the standard practice in the IT industry. And cybersecurity is also important. Uh, so cybersecurity by design. So in older days, people used to think that okay, cybersecurity is something that needs to be handled after some development work happens, but it is not true. So security should be built into the SDLC, that is the software development life cycle. So it is not an afterthought process. Okay. So whatever software that you are going to develop has to be secured by design. The way you transfer the data has to be secured. The way you store the data has to be secured. So the way you communicate with other systems should be secured. So security by design is an essential component in the IT industry. And data engineering and analytics. So as you know, many of the systems, especially the advanced computing systems, they work on real-time data. So we need to have pipelines that feed the real-time decision making and the real-time data. So there is a huge demand for professionals who can manage and analyze the data in real time. And also we have a trend called edge computing and IoT. So edge computing means the computing happens on the edge. That means the processing is moving closer to the device instead of on a centralized server. So the main advantage of doing the edge computing is it enables faster and most efficient applications. So and this edge computing is very much common in this IoT industry. Whatever data is captured through various sensors, this data is processed on the device on the edge, and intelligent decisions are made on the device instead of sending the data to a centralized server. So where innovation is happening in the software industry. So these are some of the areas in where innovation is happening right now. One is the agentic AI systems. As I told you, these agentic AI systems are intelligent agents that automate the workflow, and they connect with external systems or the tools or the APIs through model control protocols and other protocols. And explainable AI. So this is also important. And responsible AI. So responsible AI, it aims to make these AI systems fair and responsible and ethical. And edge AI, as I mentioned before, so these AI systems are no longer deployed on the centralized server because these AI systems are deployed on the devices on the edge. Okay, so these edge AI systems are intelligent enough where the AI models are run and decision support system models are run on the device. And federated learning. So in federated learning, the data of the user is not sent to the centralized server where training on the AI model happens. Whereas here the model comes to the device itself, and the data stays locally on the device. And whatever the algorithm fine tuning is done, this data is sent back to the centralized server where a larger AI model is developed. Okay, and quantum computing is a new paradigm in the computing world where some good processing power is required here. Okay, so this is different from the classical computing. So through quantum computing, the processing can be done at a faster speed. And green computing, so this is related to sustainable development. Like we have the battery technology, we have the solar based technologies. So these are some of the innovations that are happening in the frontier. So why it matters? Because we need a strong foundation in these areas for MEM Tech, PhD applications, and R&D roles. And what are the career opportunities in advanced computing? There are traditional roles here. One is the software development. As a software engineer, you can pursue your career. As a full stack developer, you can pursue your career. So in full stack developer, you need to know about the front end development, you need to know about the back end development, and also you need to know about the database design also. So in back end developer, so back end developer deals with how you receive the data, how you process the data, how you store the data, and how you communicate with the external systems. And mobile application developers, yes, this is a new trend because all the services that are offered by various businesses are offered through this mobile application. So there is a huge demand for mobile application developers for both Android and iOS platforms. So these are some of the traditional roles that are there in the IT industry. And on the right hand side, you have this emerging roles like we have this AI engineer. So AI engineer is responsible for developing or integrating AI models into their applications, and the data engineer they deal with data cleaning and providing the data to the systems, and the cloud engineer they deal with deploying these applications onto the cloud environment, and DevOps they deal with continuous development, that is continuous integration and continuous deployment. And cybersecurity engineer, so this engineer they protect your IT systems, they protect the IT networks. And site reliability engineer, so they are responsible for maintaining the sites and secure the sites. Okay, so these are some of the career opportunities in advanced computing. So one, on the left hand side you have the traditional roles, and on the right hand side you have the emerging roles. So what industry expects from fresh graduates? So when it comes to industry, people expect certain qualities and skills in a fresh graduate. So when it comes to technical skills, the graduate should have good programming skills. He should have the ability to build the logic, to solve the problems, and also he should have a good foundation in data structures and algorithms. Okay, and also he should have good understanding about the database management systems, whether it is SQL database or NoSQL database. And the engineer should have good knowledge about operating system concepts, how the memory is managed, how the inter-process communication happens, how the processors are handled. And the engineer should have good understanding about computer networks. Okay, and software engineering principles, like software development life cycle, how to develop the software, and how to maintain different versions of the software, how to test the software, how to debug the software. So all these principles, all these skills are required from a technical perspective. So when it comes to professional skills, all the industries, they expect the graduates to have these problem solving skills, because this is one skill that is essential for each and every graduate. Okay, so through problem solving skills, he can break a larger problem into smaller problems, and they can intelligently handle the smaller problems. And communication skills is also important. So as a team member, the concerned graduate should be able to communicate the ideas with the fellow team members, or the project manager, or the leadership. And the graduate is expected to work in a team environment. So teamwork is also important, and adaptability is also important here. So based upon the need, the graduate is expected to adapt himself and learn new things. And also, as you know, the technology is changing very fast. So he should be very agile in learning new tools, new frameworks, and he should use these new tools and frameworks in his professional work. So the key message is strong fundamentals matter more than memorizing the framework. A student who understands concepts deeply can learn new technologies quickly. So fundamentals is most important. He should have the fundamental technology skills, and also the professional skills, especially the problem solving skills, communication skills, teamwork skills, adaptability, and learning agility skills. So these are essential, and these skills are expected from the industry. So what are the skills that differentiate candidates? So because we know many people, they struggle with these skills, because these are the skills that differentiate them with other candidates. Like this is the pyramid. So on the bottom side, I have mentioned the technical foundation skills. In the middle, we have this professional engineering tools, and on top we have this emerging skills. So on the bottom we have the technical foundation skills. Like the engineer should have good programming skills, like he should have good Java programming knowledge, or Python programming language, and he should be have the knowledge related to JavaScript, and he should have the knowledge related to database, at least one database, that is the SQL database, and he should have the knowledge related to application programming interfaces, and he should have the basics of cloud. Okay, and he should have the uh, these are some of the foundational skills that are expected in a engineer. When it comes to professional engineering tools, uh, the the engineer should know how to use Git, how to use GitHub, so how to maintain his software, how to maintain different versions of the software, and he should know working in Linux environment, and he should know Docker for deploying the applications, and he should have the knowledge related to CI/CD. There is the continuous integration and continuous deployment. Okay, and on top we have these emerging skills. Like he should have AI literacy. So he should know what is this artificial intelligence, so how to develop this AI based applications, and how to integrate this AI models into their applications. And they should know about the basics of large language models, generative AI, and how to get response from these generative AI models, and how to prompt these large language models. Prompt engineering has become an essential skill now, and AI application development. So anyone who has these three foundational skills, one is the technical foundation, professional engineering tools, and emerging skills, they will excel, and they will be distinct with other candidates. So the tools and languages one should learn and use are, so you can learn Python, you can learn Java, you can learn JavaScript, you should learn Linux, you should learn SQL, you should learn Git, and you should be able to publish your code or applications onto the GitHub, and you should have the experience in deploying your applications using Docker, and you should have experience working with Kubernetes, and you should know how to deploy your applications and maintain your applications on the cloud environment. So each layer builds on the one below it, and if you skip the base, and the top tier won't hold. So foundation is very much important, and knowing the professional engineering tools like the Git, GitHub, Linux, Docker, CI/CD tools is also essential. On top of it, you can learn the emerging skills that are required in the industry. So what are the challenges employees frequently report? Okay, so after employing the graduates, like one of the commonly reported issue is weak coding fundamentals. So we should not have these weak coding fundamentals. We should be strong in the fundamentals. You should know how to build a logic, how to solve the problem, how to code, how to use the syntax in the right way, okay, and how to debug the code, okay, how to test your code. So all these skills are very much important. So, and also tutorial dependency. So many of the people, employees, they have reported that most of the employees are depending on the tutorial. Yes, it is good to learn through tutorials, but you cannot always depend on the tutorials. You should have the practical knowledge also. You should do hands-on, okay. And many of the students, they lack practical projects because we visit various colleges as part of project evaluation. So we see that many people, they have the theoretical knowledge only, but they lag in practical projects. So the student should have practical projects. And poor debugging skills. So this is also one of the concerns. As an engineer, you are expected to debug the code, and you are expected to identify the issue so that you can resolve the particular problem. Okay, and also communication challenge. So this is also a challenge the most of the employees have reported. So you should have good communication skills. You should communicate your ideas. You should communicate your ideas and your thoughts with your team members and your leadership and your project manager. And don't blindly depend on the AI tools. Okay, so AI can be used as a companion, as a tool that can be used to improve your productivity, but don't only depend on the AI tools. Okay, okay. So these are some of the challenges employees frequently report. Okay, and how students can prepare effectively. Okay, so how we can close this gap? One is we can strengthen the fundamentals. So we should have the good fundamentals in terms of programming, building the logic, and you should build real-time projects. Okay, choose some good projects which has real significance, which has real value, and which can be used by the end users. And participate in hackathons, capture the flag events, and bug bounty events, bug bounty challenges, so that your skills can be improved and you can know where you position among other hackers or the developers. And gain internship experience. Yes, this is very much important. So once you graduate from the engineering college, you should do internship in an industry and know the industry best practices, like what are the standards that are followed, what are the practices that are followed, and you should try to implement them in your projects. And also you can contribute to open source projects. Okay, there are many open source projects you can contribute to that, and you can publish your code on GitHub and build a professional online presence, because uh, people should know your skills. People should know what are the projects that you have built, what are the skills that you have, what are the certifications that you have, in what kind of hackathons, bug bounty challenges, or the capture the flag events that you have participated. So all these details can be published on your professional portfolio. So recruiters, they often evaluate your GitHub and LinkedIn profiles before interview. So keep that in mind. So you should market yourself. You should have a good portfolio built so that the recruiter can see your skills and they can call you for the interviews and they can take you for the job. So planning ahead, 6 months career preparation roadmap. So in the first 2 months, what you can do is you can build your core fundamentals. You can brush up your data structures and algorithm concepts. You can improve your OOPS concepts. You can learn the OOPS concepts, and you can learn DBMS concepts. You can learn OS and networking concepts. So these are the core fundamentals for any software developer. Okay, and once you have the core fundamentals, you can choose any one specialization that you want to pursue your career. You can settle as an AI engineer or a data engineer, or if you are interested, you can settle as a cloud engineer or DevOps engineer, or if you still want to continue your career, pursue your career as a software developer for building applications, you can join as a full stack developer. Or if you are good in securing your systems and securing the networks and building secure applications, you can join as a cybersecurity expert also. Okay, so once you choose your specialization, in the last 2 months, month 5 and 6, you can prepare for placements. You can build your resume. You can develop your portfolio. You can participate in mock interviews. You can prepare your aptitude, and you can do your coding practice also. Okay, so consistency is more important than intensity. Okay, so this is a brief 6 months career preparation roadmap in order to secure a good job. Okay, so in the first 2 months, you build your core fundamentals. In month 3 and 4, you choose your specialization, and in month 5 and 6, you prepare for placements and job. So the engineer of the AI era, because now it is the era of AI. So AI will change how software is built, but the problem solving and engineering judgment remain essential with an engineer. Okay, so as an engineer, you need to have this continuous learning, and human AI collaboration is essential, because AI is not going to replace any human being. Okay, AI can be used as a companion. Okay, to improve your productivity, and critical thinking is important. So critical thinking is one quality that any engineer should have, and creativity is also important. So, and leadership quality is also important, and understanding the business requirement is also important. Okay, so as a human being, these are the skills that you should have as an engineer in the AI era. So you should be continuously learning the new tools and framework, and you should have this human and AI collaboration, and you can leverage the AI tools, and you should have this critical thinking capability. You should have the creativity. You should have the leadership qualities, and you should have the good understanding of the business requirement. So future belongs to professionals who combine technical skills with human strength. Okay, so if you say that I can only code, but I cannot solve the problem, I cannot think creatively, I cannot have this critical thinking, then you may lose a job. So you should have all these qualities to sustain in the industry, especially in the AI era. So by the numbers, so hiring and technology adoption signals. So 70% of the enterprises now use cloud native architectures for new applications. So you should know how to build cloud native applications. So how to design your architecture. Okay, and also 1 in 5 engineering teams report using AI coding assistants in their daily workflow. So as I told you before, we should not completely depend on the AI tool. Rather, we can use AI tool as a coding assistant. Okay, so whatever code that we have written can be tested, can be reviewed using a tool, so that you can improve your productivity. Okay, and you can complete, and you can develop the particular solution in a lesser time. And one critical gap area that the recruiters have mentioned is practical project exposure or the experience over work coursework alone. So many people think that learning concepts is enough, but that is not enough. You should have real-time practical project experience, and you should do real-time projects so that you can have an edge compared to other engineers. Okay, so these are some of the illustrative role demand jobs like over the years. like we have good requirement for AI engineers, cloud engineers, DevOps engineers, cybersecurity engineers, and full stack developers. So organizations want engineers who can demonstrate practical skills and deliver results. So having only theoretical concepts will not serve the purpose. You should demonstrate your practical skills and deliver the results in a work environment. So what a strong portfolio should look like. So your portfolio should have at least 2 to 3 full projects. So you should have the experience of building end-to-end projects, right from front end, back end database, and the deployment in the live environment. Okay, and also you should have active GitHub history. So you should regularly commit your code, and you should have clear README files, and you should have real collaboration with other developers for a pull request, and also you should have good experience in deploying your applications on Amazon Web Service or Azure or Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so don't just say that I have developed an application and deployed on the local machine. So it will not have any value. So you should have the real world experience in deploying your application onto the cloud environment. And also you should have documentation skills also, like you should document how you have resolved the problem, how you have tackled the issues, how you have overcome the challenges. You can share your experiences through blog posts. You can have your write-ups explaining decisions, and not just to publish a code. So these are some of the points that you should have in your portfolio. One is at least 2 or 3 full projects end to end, and you should have active GitHub history, and you should have real world experience deploying your applications on the cloud, and you should have documenting skills. So these are some of the takeaways for graduates or the engineers who are going to graduate in 2026. So as I mentioned before, you should master the fundamentals. You should learn AI and modern tools. You should know how to use Claude. You should know how to use ChatGPT and improve your productivity. And you should build meaningful projects that have real value. Okay, and these projects can be published on your GitHub page, and you can mention it in your portfolio. And you should have good communication skills, interpersonal skills, and you should be able to work in a team. So you should have all these professional skills, and become a lifelong learner, because learning is not a one time process. So it should be a continuous process. So as an engineer, we should evolve on a daily basis. So we should learn the new tools, the new frameworks, the new technologies that are coming up in the industry, so that we can be uh, relevant in the industry. Okay, so the most valuable engineers will be those who combine strong fundamentals, practical experience, problem solving ability, and effective use of AI. So these are some of the takeaways for 2026. And coming to skill development opportunities at C-DAC, uh, one opportunity that you have immediately is the C-DAC postgraduate certificate programs. So these programs are completely NSPF level 6 aligned, and they are NCVT, that is the National Council for Vocational Educational Training certified courses. They are recognized by Government of India, and we have PG certificate programs in 7 different domains. One is the embedded system design, VLSI design, advanced secure software development, advanced computing, artificial intelligence, big data analytics, cyber security, and forensics. So you can scan this QR code to register to these programs, and these are 24-week full-time programs, 1,200 hours theory, lab plus project, and they are all in industry aligned, job oriented programs. And these courses are offered by C-DAC R&D scientists and engineers and other industry experts who have good R&D experience. And we will be conducting mock interviews and conducting motivational sessions to prepare the students for the placements. And also at the end of the course, we provide placement opportunity for the students. So I'll be mentioning specifically about this PG certificate program in advanced computing. So as I mentioned before, in order to successfully become a software developer or a software engineer, these are the course modules that we'll be covering as part of this PG certificate course in advanced computing. We'll be covering programming, C++ programming, and we'll be having a module on object-oriented programming in Java, and we'll be teaching you data structures and algorithms using Java, and we will also teach database technologies. We cover both SQL and NoSQL database, and we will be covering the operating system concepts, and also we will cover software development methodologies and web development technologies, where we teach you the basics of web technologies like HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and we'll be teaching the web-based Java programming, where we teach the advanced web development frameworks, web services, APIs, and we will be covering Microsoft .NET technology, and we have this aptitude and effective communication module, and also we will be making the student to do a project. Okay, and daily we have 6 to 8 hours per day theory and lab sessions, 6 days a week, and we have continuous lab and internal assessment during the course, and we have the centralized assessment for module theory examination. So these are some of the course highlights. So all these details you can see in our C-DAC website, ax.cdac.in. Okay. And along with this advanced computing, because in the AI era, knowledge of AI is very much essential. So we will be introducing the student to applied generative AI, starting from LLMs to agentic AI. So this module is offered for all PG certificate courses offered by C-DAC. So this module will provide students with strong foundation in artificial intelligence, NLP, and modern LLM architecture, and also will be providing practical exposure to leading generative AI platforms, APIs, and development environments, and also will be imparting skills in prompt engineering, AI application design for solving real-world problems, and will be imparting knowledge of enterprise-grade AI systems using RAG pipelines, embeddings, and vector databases, and also will be teaching on local LLM deployment, AI governance, security, privacy, and responsible AI practices. And the student will be gaining experience in integrating AI throughout the software development lifecycle, and also will be introducing them to agentic AI and different workflows. And also the student will gain hands-on capability to build and integrate end-to-end generative AI component into the projects and applications. So this AI component is very much essential, and it is offered to all PG certificate courses offered by C-DAC. And these are some of the important dates. Like the online registration began on 26th of May, and the last date for the C-DAC common admission test is 23rd of June, and the CCAT examination will be conducted on 4th and 5th of July, and the course will commence on 24th of August. And at the end of the course, we will also be providing placement opportunity for the student, and these are some of the past recruiters that I'm showing you on the right hand side. And we have in Hyderabad, we have a training facility in Amirpet, in the heart of the city. Okay, just near the Amirpet metro station, which is very much accessible for the people who want to commute. And for more details, you can get in touch with us. This is the phone number 73820533731, and this is our email ID training-hyd@cdac.in, or you can visit our website at ax.cdac.in also. So apart from these PG certificate programs, we also have other skilling opportunities for the engineering graduates. So we have a program called Future Skills Prime. This is Government of India's program for upskilling the manpower in the IT domain. Okay, so here through this Future Skills Prime, we'll be conducting various government offices training programs and boot camps for the student and the faculty members also. So all these programs, all the students are eligible to register for these programs. And C-DAC Hyderabad is the lead center for cyber security and co-lead center for blockchain and 3D printing and additive manufacturing. and each boot camp will be of 40-hour duration, and most of the boot camps are conducted in online mode, and we have an end assessment also. Students can make use of this opportunity. It is free of cost, all these boot camps. So this is the target participants are the career aspirants, students, the people who are working in the IT sector, non-IT sector. And as I told you before, in order to build your portfolio, you should have done your internship in an industry. So for internship, we have a program called work-based learning internship. It's a stipend-based internship, paid internship, where C-DAC will be paying the student 10,000 rupees per month, and this internship will be provided for 6 months. So we'll be taking the students twice in a year. One is the January batch, and second is the July batch. Uh, the students who have completed their engineering graduation in the last 2 years are eligible, and the students who are pursuing their final year engineering are also eligible for undergoing the internship. So this internship is offered at 81 locations across the country through these 7 institutions, including C-DAC, CMET, CERTIN, ERNET, NILIT, SAMIR, and STQC. Okay, so right now we have called for internship applications through ACD internship portal and WBLP.in website also. So any student who is eligible to undergo internship can apply to these programs. So the last date is somewhere in July. So you have 2 to 3 weeks of time to apply for this internship program. And after the internship also, we will provide placement assistance. So these are some of the WBL students who were trained at C-DAC Hyderabad and who were recruited in various companies who got placed. Okay. And also we have an opportunity called SWAYAN. SWAYAN is a capacity building initiative for human resource development in unmanned aircraft systems. Okay, so through this SWAYAN initiative, we'll be conducting boot camps in selected engineering colleges free of cost. So any engineering college who want to utilize this opportunity can contact us through this particular portal, swayan.mighty.gov.in. So these are some of the screenshots where we have conducted boot camps. And we have an opportunity through ICA. ICA stands for Information Security Education Awareness. This is phase 3. Through this ICA initiative, the students can participate in boot camps. Students can participate in hackathon, capture the flag events, and they can also participate in innovation challenges, bug bounty challenges, and also they can share their knowledge with other fellow students and other innovators. And also, as part of formal education and training, we have the multidisciplinary education at the undergraduate level, and we have some electives in cybersecurity, information security at MEM Tech, PGP Tech level. And also, we have industry-focused role-based programs and internship opportunities through this ICA Phase 3 program. And we have another opportunity called Secure Software Development Lifecycle Practices Professional Certification Program. So this is a practical oriented training and certification program offered by C-DAC and IIT. Till now, more than 800 participants have enrolled in this program, and more than 300 people have certified through this particular program. So this program is very much essential for the engineering students to gain hands-on experience on secure software development lifecycle practices. Okay, so this will help them in building secured AI-based applications, secure software applications, and mobile applications. So what you will learn as part of this certification program, like you will be learning security standards, requirement traceability matrix, data privacy techniques, performing threat modeling, risk assessment, threat prioritization techniques, secure coding guidelines, software composition analysis, and you'll be working with CI/CD tools, and you'll be learning the security process metric measuring and AI role in secure software development. Okay, and for students will be giving a certificate of achievement, and for professionals will be issuing a professional certificate. And the course material will be delivered in the form of video lectures, security tools, plugins, and offline content and practice quizzes also. So each program is of 40 hours. It covers both theory and lab. And this certification program is offered through self-paced or online-based. So more details you can find in ssdlcp.in website. And another initiative is Chariot, that is C-DAC's Harmonized Industry Skilling Program through online training. So this is a 4 to 8 weeks online training program offered by C-DAC Hyderabad. So any BE Tech student can undergo this online training. So we will be offering this online training in 5 emerging technologies. One is the blockchain application development, cross-platform mobile app development, IoT hardware design, wireless communication using software-defined radio, and software security. Okay. So for more details, you can visit our website makeshikshak.in/chariot. So we can see all the details, how the process to enroll to this particular program. And for the student community, we have this bug bounty challenge. It is a 36-hour bug bounty challenge where you can hunt, hack, secure, and win exciting prizes. And we have the prize money. The first prize is of 1 lakh rupee, and the second prize is 75,000. Third prize is 50,000. And for for discovering any critical bug, you will be given a prize of 10,000 rupees. So high priority bug, you'll be paid 5,000 rupees. For medium bug, it is 2,000 rupees. So this 36-hour bug bounty program will be held simultaneously across all 13 cities in north, south, east, and west. In south, we have Chennai, Bangalore, and Hyderabad centers. In north, this challenge will be conducted in Delhi, Noida, and Mohali. In east, it will be conducted in Kolkata, Guwahati, and Patna. And in west, this event will be conducted in Mumbai, Gandhinagar, and Indore. So the dates are July 7th and 8th. It is a completely offline event, okay, conducted simultaneously across all the centers in the country on July 7th and 8th. So for more details, you can visit the website ssm.cdac.in, or you can scan this QR code for more details. So I encourage all the students, faculty members to participate in this hackathon. And also we have the employment opportunity. So if you are a fresh engineer, engineering graduate, we have the openings as project associate and project engineers. We have more than 900 plus vacancies across different C-DAC centers. In case if you have experience, we have senior positions also, like the senior project engineer, project lead, module lead, and we have the vacancies for project managers, project delivery managers, program managers, knowledge partners. Okay. And for non-technical people also, we have some positions like project support staff, project officer, function associate. So all these positions are available right now. The last date to apply is 20th of June. That is today is the last date. So anyone who is eligible for these positions can apply through cdac.in website. So in C-DAC.in, you have a page called career. You can visit that page and you can apply online. You can share these details with other eligible candidates also in your professional network. And for faculty members and engineering faculty, we have this opportunity through faculty development programs through Electronics and ICT Academy scheme phase 2. So C-DAC Hyderabad is one of the 14 institutions who are implementing this scheme. Through this scheme, we'll be conducting FDP programs in emerging technologies. Okay, and till now we have conducted many FDP programs in various emerging technologies. So these are some of the details. Like we have successfully trained more than 3,300 faculty members, and out of this 3,300, almost 1,500 are the faculty from engineering background and students and other categories, and 1,800 are the faculty members from ITI, Polytechnic, and postgraduate teachers. And very soon in this financial year also, we'll be conducting FDP programs, short-term certificate courses, boot camps, government offices training programs in various emerging technologies. So all these opportunities you can find in our C-DAC website, or you can follow us on the social media. And we are supporting higher education institutions through C2S program. We have Chips to Startup program, where we'll be providing EDA tools like Synopsys, Cadence, Siemens, Keysight, and other tools that are used for EDA. Okay, and total 328 institutions are supported through this C2S program. And in AP and Telangana, from Telangana we have 26 institutions, and from Andhra Pradesh we have this 19 institutions. So all the details of the institutions who are participating in these C2S programs, you can find the details in c2s.gov.in. So if any institution or want to take part in this initiative, they can contact us in this particular portal. So this is mKavach 2. This is very much essential for the engineering students or any citizen. So this is a comprehensive mobile device security solution addressing the threats in Android mobile phone. So this is a mobile security solution developed by C-DAC with the support of Government of India. More than 50 lakh users have already downloaded this application. It has various features like security advisor, threat analyzer, and it can detect the hidden applications, and it can detect the adwares also. So this you can scan this QR code to download and install this mobile application. So this mobile application is used. It can be used by students, by the citizens, can be used by the senior citizens, teachers, and the working professionals also. And all these opportunities, it is very difficult for us to reach out to each and every individual. However, we are regularly publishing all these opportunities related to boot camps, training programs, certification programs, okay, short-term certificate programs, webinars, seminars on our social media. So prospective students can follow us on social media. We are available on X, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Please follow us so that you can get instant information about the upcoming opportunities. So that's it. So I tried to cover the details related to advanced computing, software development, and the opportunities, skilling opportunities for the student community. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. I'm open for question and answers. So what a fresher should do to get a coaching in C-DAC? Yes, we have these PG certificate programs in various domains. Based upon your engineering graduation discipline, you can choose one of these PG certificate courses. If you are from ECE background or electronic background, you can choose either embedded system design or VLSI. In case if you are from CSC, AI, and IT background, you can choose advanced computing, big data analytics, artificial intelligence, or advanced secure software development. You have multiple options. So for more details, you can visit our apps.cdac.in website so that you can see what are the modules that we are covering in different PG certificate courses and the eligibility and the duration. So what type of real projects are effective? So any project which you do end to end, right from front end development, back end development, database design is worth. So you can try these real projects, and you can deploy these projects on the GitHub, and you can publish in your portfolio also, so that any prospective recruiter can see the details and they can provide you employment opportunities. So how to enroll in any program? You can visit our website apps.cdac.in. Are diploma students eligible? Yes, diploma students are eligible for some of the boot camps that we'll be conducting regularly. What is the selection process for WBL? Once a student applies for WBL program, we'll be scrutinizing his application. Based upon the eligibility, we'll be calling for selection interviews. Purely on merit basis, we'll be selecting the candidates. And based upon his interest and the project portfolio, we'll be assigning that student to various R&D teams. Sir, I can't afford courses to learn skills. What should I do? You see, there are some courses for free, and there are some opportunities free of cost also. Please visit us on social media so that you can find many free courses, free certification programs and boot camps. I am planning to make a transition. I am from computer science background and I want to get into embedded systems. Will I be eligible, and should you suggest I should continue or take PhD course? Yes, if you want to pursue a career in embedded systems, this PG certificate course in embedded system design is a very good option for you. You can consider that option. Any question? Sir, can a 2025 graduate can join these courses? Yes, 2025 graduate is eligible for these PG certificate programs. You can apply.
Kumar, yes, actually there are many questions pertaining to this PG certificate courses. I think I will take some 5 to 10 minutes of slides, and mostly they'll get clarity from this thing. How do they apply and all this? No, just for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I'll just go through my slides now. Okay.
Okay. Let me stop sharing.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
My slides visible, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Very good morning and good afternoon to all. As most of the participants are asking questions pertaining to our postgraduate certificate courses, just I thought I can take some 5 to 10 minutes of your time and just brief about our courses, what are the courses we are offering, and how the admissions will happen to these courses. I just brief these programs. So as you all know, it's a C-DAC, our institute established in the year 1988 as a primarily an R&D institute under Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. So the C-DAC actually it's originally established for building supercomputers for India. Later on, the C-DAC has diverged their technical field in various technologies. So there are different thematic areas where the C-DAC research team works, which includes in high performance computing, grid and cloud computing, multilingual computing, professional electronics, cyber security, software technologies, health informatics, and so on. So even education and training also one of the key thematic area of C-DAC. So the C-DAC started its education and training division in the year 1993 in the form of Advanced Computing Training School. So as of now, more than 3 lakh students have been graduated from C-DAC, and they are working as a top entrepreneurs in the top IT companies, and even they are even leaders for most of the organizations. Okay. So currently nationwide we have 12 centers officially functioning now, 12 centers across India. So we have in southern region, we have centers in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Trivandrum, and Pune is our headquarters. We have center in Mumbai, Kolkata, Silchar, Patna, Delhi, Noida, and Mohali in the north. Okay. So currently in C-DAC Hyderabad, the C-DAC Hyderabad, we are located at 2 locations. So the first location is in Hardware Park, so which we call it as our R&D center, and the second location is in Amirpet. So the earlier even our training activities also were operating in from our Hardware Park campus itself, from the R&D building. So considering the benefit from the students, we have moved our training activities to the Amirpet area in the last February. In this year only, February 26, again we have moved to Amirpet. So now all our ACTS programs are advanced computing training schools, whatever the courses we are offering. So these all programs is going to be operated from our Amirpet campus now, from now on. Okay. So as I mentioned, the C-DAC works in various different thematic areas, which includes professional electronics, cyber security, software technologies, education and training. So the C-DAC Hyderabad major thematic areas, key thematic areas is professional electronics and cyber security. So in professional electronics, we have a strong team in VLSI design, embedded and IoT team, in electronic systems design and manufacturing team. In cyber security, we have teams in endpoint security, web application security, mobile and embedded security. So the research happening in advanced malware research, machine learning for cyber security, blockchain, security audit,
and so on. So in software technologies, we have different groups in e-learning, web technologies, open source, and education and training department. We have a we offer PG diploma programs, skill-based programs, and some kind of faculty updation programs and all under the education and training activity. So actually, when I say the C-DAC Hyderabad, the center started, Hyderabad center started in the year 99. We have a legacy of more than 2.5 decades in training. When we started the C-DAC Hyderabad started with one of our flagship course, PG Diploma in Advanced Computing that time. So now all the C-DAC is totally, it is offering some 15 programs it is offering now. So out of these 15 programs, the C-DAC Hyderabad is offering the 7 major programs. So whenever you take any courses in C-DAC Hyderabad, so the C-DAC Hyderabad, we don't have a structure called like engineering colleges. We don't have a faculty and student kind of area. So here the beauty of our courses is the training by our own R&D experts. Okay, so the training is going to happen by the person who is involved in various our R&D activities. They are going to come and train our students and make them for industry ready. So the all courses are of 6 months. We call it as 24 weeks programs. So when I say this professional electronics team, so we have this team completely takes care of VLSI design course and the embedded systems design course. Okay. So similarly, cyber security team takes care of our advanced secure software development course, the cyber security and forensics course. So these two courses is completely taken care by the cyber security team. So similarly, for software technology, the teams involved in the software technologies groups completely takes care of our big data analytics course, advanced computing course. Then what all the other courses, that what I mean to say here is, so any course in C-DAC, it is linked to one of our R&D department. So that R&D department completely takes care of, so the completely handling the theory sessions, lab sessions, every aspects of that course is going to be completely taken care by our one of this R&D group. So just I would like to run a small video so that you will get a clear understanding about what C-DAC. Just a minute.
In a world driven by technology, innovation becomes the force that shapes the future. At the forefront of India's digital revolution stands a pioneer, the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, C-DAC. From building India's first supercomputer in 1988, Param, redefining technological independence, to deploying over 40 plus petaflops of national supercomputing capacity under the National Supercomputing Mission, from developing indigenous technologies like the Rudra motherboard and the high-speed Trinetra interconnect, to building India's first indigenous microprocessor in 2025, C-DAC continues to push the boundaries of possibility. Through advanced computing systems, C-DAC supports organizations like ISRO, enabling mission simulations, space data processing, and research that supports India's journey into space, driving innovation across AI and quantum computing missions, homegrown cybersecurity tools, and breakthroughs in health technology and bioinformatics, strengthening the nation's technological foundation. The greatest impact of C-DAC lies in its people. Through its advanced training programs and education initiatives under the postgraduate certificate programs, C-DAC has empowered thousands of students, transforming them into industry-ready professionals, innovators, and technology leaders. These trained minds now power industries, research institutions, startups, and national missions, multiplying C-DAC's impact across the country. C-DAC, empowering minds, advancing technology, and enabling India to reach for the stars.
So hope this video has given a clarity about the C-DAC working culture and all. So now all our PG certificate programs, all because recently we got earlier it was popularly named as postgraduate diploma courses, but in the last year all our programs got NCVT approved. That means National Council for Vocational Education and Training. So that it's a nationwide recognition. So this NCVT approved courses of all our programs are of 1200 of learning hours with the 40 credits and NSQ of aligned to level 6, all these programs. So this coming to these programs, so I can say the 24-week full-time programs with the 1200 hours of theory, lab and project. The batch is starting in August 24th. The next batch is starting 24th August 26th, and from there exactly 24 weeks it is going to end in 27th of February 6th. So excellent. Once these students complete this 24 weeks of training, once the students complete this 24 weeks of training, so we extend placement opportunities for the students. So we invite various companies to the C-DAC campus and they come and recruit the students. So we have a history of even placing 100% students in most of the courses. Even placement varies from course to course. So on an average, we can say 90% of the students getting placement from C-DAC. So the training by C-DAC's R&D scientists, engineers and industry experts. So all our courses are Government of India recognized, NSQF level 6 and NCVT approved courses. So in addition to all the technical models, we do give a training in special training in aptitude, English and effective communication and interview skills. So mock interviews and project guidance is part of throughout the course. So excellent participation from top ICT companies. So we have a mid exams and course and exams. Okay. So these are just about course highlights only. So currently the C-DAC is offering, these are the 12 programs in this August 26 batch. So certificate program in advanced computing, big data analytics, artificial intelligence, so mobile computing, advanced secure software development, and so like this. So embedded systems design and VLSI design also some of the courses which preferably the electronic students mostly prefer for the category 3 courses. So these are the courses we call it as category 2 and category 3 courses. So the category 2 means all the admissions to all these postgraduate certificate programs is going to happen through a national level entrance test. So for the August 26 batch, the entrance test is scheduled on 4th and 5th July. 4th and 5th July. To apply that 23rd June is the last date. 23rd June means coming Tuesday is the last date to apply for all these PG diploma programs. So once a student any candidate miss the opportunity to take the admission in this batch, again they have to come in the next batch. The next batch starts in the month of February 27. So every yearly twice we have our programs. So only entry to these programs is through our entrance. Okay. So any student who are willing to take the courses in category 2, they need to undergo the section A and B of our CCAT of our entrance test. And any student who are very much interested in taking embedded system design or the VLSI course, they need to go for the category 3 courses. That means only 2 courses in category 3, that is embedded system design and the VLSI design. So for that they have to write section A, B and C. All the 3 sections of CCAT they have to write. So the CCAT exam is scheduled on 4th and 5th July. Okay. So if the student is interested only in taking the AI course or the big data course or advanced computing course, they can write only the section A and B. So that if they qualify in section A and B, that is sufficient. They need not go for the category 3 courses. So these are the courses, the postgraduate certificate programs at C-DAC Hyderabad, that is advanced secure software development, advanced computing, artificial intelligence, big data analytics, cyber and forensics, embedded system design and VLSI design. Okay, so we can proudly say that the C-DAC Hyderabad is the national resource center for the embedded system design and the advanced secure software development course. That means the courses, these 2 courses are designed and developed by our own R&D team of C-DAC Hyderabad has designed these 2 courses and which is being offered in all C-DAC centers. So this I already covered in the. So the eligibility is majorly the graduates in engineering and IT, computer science, electronics, telecommunication, electrical and instrumentation. So MSc in computer science, IT and electronics in MSc also they are eligible. This is the common eligibility criteria. In addition to this common eligibility criteria, each course has its own eligibility. So assume that the student in wants to take an advanced computing or AI course or big data course. They are any graduate in any discipline of engineering is eligible. That means the student of mechanical engineering, civil engineering, so chemical engineering, whatever graduate in engineering, they are eligible to take up our advanced computing course, big data course, AI course, artificial intelligence course, cyber security and forensics course. So for taking in other courses like advanced secure software development, in addition to common eligibility criteria, even NCA, MCA graduates also they are eligible for the our advanced secure software development course. Okay, if that means the student, if this is the common eligibility criteria, so this common eligibility criteria it is minimum required for our its other courses. In addition to common eligibility criteria, so we can say even MCA is eligible for the advanced secure software development course, and any discipline engineering they're eligible for the our other courses, advanced computing, big data, AI, and cyber security and forensics courses. So the admissions will happen only through the entrance test, that is called CCAT, and the exam is scheduled on 4th and 5th July. To apply for the CCAT, you need to see this website www.cdac.in, or directly want to go to our advanced computing training school website, just click on acts.cdac.in. acts.cdac.in. 23rd June is the last date. If anybody wanted to note down, please note down this website acts.cdac.in. Okay, so the PG certificate program, these are the CCAT sections. The section A, it is completely on general aptitude, reasoning, and just basics of computer fundamentals and concepts of programming is being asked in the section A. So any section, there are 3 sections I told, every section has 50 questions. Okay, so if the student, there is a negative marking. If the student marks for the correct answer, that means plus 3 marks. If there is a wrong answer, that means -1 for the wrong answer. Okay, so maximum it's of 150 marks for each section. So 50 questions, 3 marks each, that means 150 questions. Section A is for, this is the syllabus, and section B, they need to prepare for C programming, data structures, OOPS concepts using C++, then operating systems, networking, and basics of big data and AI. These related questions are asked. So these are the question, section A and B sufficient for C-DAC Hyderabad. 5 courses they are eligible. If they write only for section A and B, that what are the 5 courses? That is advanced computing, then big data analytics, then what else? Then cyber security and forensics, then AI course, and one more advanced secure software development course. These are the 5 courses they are eligible for section A and B. But if they want to go for in Hyderabad either embedded system design course or the VLSI design course, they need to compulsorily write about the section C, which includes the CCAT syllabus is computer architecture, digital electronics, and microprocessor questions is being asked in section C. So qualifying in each section is compulsory important. If the student qualifies in section A out of 150 out of 150 and they do not qualify in section B, that means rank will not be given. Okay, so those details once you apply, then I'll in some other session. So later I can in detail I can explain you all these things how. Okay, so these are the just qualification criteria. So CCAT ranks is going to be published in 16th July. 4th and 5th July is the exam, and ranks is going to be published. Once the student gets a rank, so we conduct some different rounds of counseling. There are 3 rounds of counseling. So the student need to give the choice filling, and then we'll allot the courses. So this counseling procedure will happen almost a 1 month of time. So then 24th of August the batch is starting, and February 27th the batch is going to end. So this is the entrance test fee, that is 1 lakh, sorry, course fee is 1 lakh plus GST will be there for the entrance test. If they qualify only, they need to pay the course fee. Otherwise the entrance test fee is 1550 for the A plus B, 1750 for the A plus B plus C section. So this is the counseling. So first counseling has 2 rounds and the second counseling has 3 rounds. There are totally 3 rounds of seat allocation. So these all things is going to come only once you get a student gets a rank. How they get a rank? That means once they qualify in the CCAT only, they will get a rank. So this slide is applicable only for the students, those who get a rank only. Okay. So once the student gets a rank, we conduct this kind of some counseling sessions so that you can ask your further questions. Anything is there, you can ask during that time. So the course fees, it is normally the course fees 99,000 plus for GST for most of the courses GST, and remaining fees they need to pay by 20th August. 24th August the course is starting. So the education loan facility also, loan recommendation letter will also be issued to the students who those who wanted to take the loan facility from the banks. So this is also one small video. So I thought let's you can see this.
Three lakh plus success stories and counting. Be the next C-DACian, shaping the future of technology. CCAT registrations close on 23rd June 2026. Enroll now.
I think I'm end with my sessions uh, because there are many slides are there. So these are some of the success stories. Those who got placed from C-DAC, they write some good things about the C-DAC, and there this we can say it is the testimonials of them actually. And these are some of the students who placed in our VLSA course, DAC course in different companies. So just to motivate them, and so if we create this kind of banners and post in their social media, so that the other students of that batch and even the same students get motivated from this thing. So these are our all India toppers. So what I can say, because we normally have the centralized course and examination, the students of any center, because we have I mentioned right, 12 centers are offering the PG diploma postgraduate certificate programs, and more than 4,000 students will undergo this training also in C-DAC in different centers. So, but what happens is, after completing this, once the student completing all the technical modules, we conduct some centralized course and examination, and the toppers of that centralized course and examination, we is going to award some 10,000 of cash prize and certificate through our DG. So Director General will do. So, but we are proud to say that the student of C-DAC Hyderabad is becoming the topper in this our embedded system design course and advanced secure software development course. In some of the batches, even VLS student of C-DAC Hyderabad also got the, in one of the batch, the all India rank. It is not only the Hyderabad rank, these students got the all India rank, all the topper in all 12 C-DAC centers, I can say. So they are awarded with 10,000 cash prize plus a certificate. So we have even we have achieved 100% placements of in embedded system design course in the March 24 batch. So these are the just some of the dates. Even in other courses also we could able to achieve some 80 to 90% depending upon the course. So this is the just a few glimpse about the C-DAC, the student journey at C-DAC Hyderabad. Not only the classrooms and lab, even the students of whenever they join as a student, we make them to involve in all our yoga activities, any cultural activities or any functions from C-DAC, even Ganesh Chaturthi, whatever the celebrations are there from C-DAC, we involve the students to be part of the C-DAC's R&D department. Okay, so these are just the awards, few things, and these are our social media handles. You may please. So I think I'm taking more time. Just I would like to conclude. If you have any still further questions, anything, please note down our number. So 73820 53731 or 73820 53732. So you can contact us in this numbers for any further questions also. So now also I can take, if you have one or two questions, I can anything still you have questions, I can take it. No, actually, somebody is asking previous year CCAT question paper. Normally, the CCAT question paper is not made available to public, but the questions are very simple. If the student completed their graduation, and if it is just the questions will be on simple based on their graduation, based on their BTech, only the syllabus, the questions will be there. But we don't publicly give any question paper outside C-DAC. Okay, so you just refer your see your syllabus, whatever the syllabus and topics, even books also we have mentioned which books they need to refer. It is there in the admission booklet. I think most of your questions have been answered through this presentation. I think we will move on to the next session by Mr. Sadhu Srinivas. So Sadhu Srinivas is presently working as scientist in the advanced analytics group of C-DAC Hyderabad. So he is going to take the next session now. Sadhu, I think if you please start the next session.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. It is visible, Sadhu.
Screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. So thanks for attending these webinars planned by C-DAC Hyderabad. Definitely, I appreciate your time and the effort. I know you guys are actually sitting since 10 a.m. and it's 12:20 plus. Hope you have some good understanding of the technologies, starting with IoT, embedded systems, and then software development technologies. And in fact, our training coordinator, Sharon, has explained you about all the courses that are available in C-DAC Hyderabad to pursue. Now, I will take some time to speak on big data analytics and artificial intelligence. I will not be taking much of the time. We will have a quick skim through the topics. Yeah, the agenda is going to be like this. So we basically understand what is big data. Then what are the challenges that big data poses to the world now? And then what are the technologies or the ecosystems are available to solve these big data problems? And then we will see the big data life cycle, and in each stage, what happens and what are the tools and technologies that help us throughout the big data life cycle. And then I will also have insights on the AI. We will understand what is artificial intelligence, what is Gen AI, LLM, and the RAG pipelines. And then we will actually see how, what are the career opportunities for the aspirants in this domain, especially big data and AI, etc. So with this, I will go ahead. Yeah, first, let me ask actually a question. So what is the biggest file you have ever worked with? Maybe you are actually working with a lot of documents. We'll be creating some projects, some source codes, some images, some videos you might be creating, right? So what is the biggest file you have ever worked with? Okay, so you just think of that and where actually it is getting stored. So you know actually different memory units like KBs, MBs, GBs, and terabytes. Maybe your laptop or system has a TB of a hard disk. that is secondary storage. But you might have heard about the TBs of RAM in some data center systems, right? Definitely, I assume you may not be aware of our hands-on work with petabytes, hexabytes, zettabytes, yottabytes, etc. Now, where are we actually? So, in each year, how much of the memory that we are producing? Okay, that actually makes a starting point for our big data. Okay, if you look at actually, so in 2010 we have just 2 zettabytes, and in 2026 we are expected to reach 220 zettabytes. So 1 zettabyte is 1 trillion gigabytes. So GBs are something that we are actually working with, right? So our mobile has GBs of data, our computer has GBs of data. 1 zettabyte is 1 trillion GBs, and over 80% of this data is unstructured. So a lot of videos, a lot of audios, a lot of NLP based text, emojis, symbols, etc., etc. And it is estimated that we will reach 450 zettabytes by 2030. So the point here I would like to say is we are actually in a phase of data explosion. The data is actually getting doubled for every 2 years. That's I'm going to tell you over here. So 90% of the recent data is actually created in last 2 years. So we are producing a lot of volumes of the data. Definitely the challenges will come with that data, right? So we are generating more data than ever before, transforming industries globally. And there is also a need to understand the data and get insights out of it. So this actually brings a massive growth for new opportunities to bring in new ideas, insights from the data that we have. And people now say that data is the new oil. You know how oil is important. So we are experiencing actually the effects of oil because of the war and right. And the data is going to be the new oil. So some days later, we also understand the importance of the data. Okay, so let's come to the point actually. So what is big data? What is the difference between a data to a big data? So you might have handled a lot of data, right? You might have created some applications, you have connected to the DBs, and you have given nice dashboards or some applications. But what is big data? So big data is a collection of complex, unstructured or semi-structured data sets, which have the potential to deliver actionable insights. So it's not so simple that you can actually put into a table and you can connect it and you can actually produce some results out of it. Most of you guys may be using MySQL, Postgres, or Oracle DBs, where your data is represented in the form of tables. So that's a structured data. The big data is not structured. So big data is unstructured or semi-structured. And the big data is identified with key characteristics actually. So volume is such characteristic, velocity and variety. So 3 V's of big data. It's a high volume, high velocity and high variety of information assets. So the voluminous data you can't actually store in your laptop or a machine. That's the problem. So of course I will come to that. Okay, so 3 V's. One is volume, then velocity and the variety. So velocity speaks about the speed of the data that actually comes in and the speed at which we have to process it. See, now this session is actually being telecasted or is actually streamed through YouTube, right? So on everybody, you are actually in different place. We are connected through internet, and how fast is the data is coming. So there is very minimal delay actually from what I'm speaking and what you are getting, right? So how fast the data comes and how fast we have to process this data. So that's actually the velocity that has to be handled. So that is one of the characteristics of the big data. And variety of the data. different forms of the data. Your data is not just structured. You will have very unstructured data, which is form of audios, videos. Then you have images, you have graphs, and some data can be semi-structured also, right? So basically, you find any data which is voluminous that you can't fit into your machine. It requires to be stored in multiple devices, and the data that has to be processed in real time, bulks of the data, and the speed at which it will come actually, right? So now you have so many apps. So some of the apps I'm actually showing here, right? Emails and your X and your Instagram and YouTube. See how fast the data will come and how much data it will per day or per minute actually it is coming. So that is very huge in fact, right? So how do you process the data? That's actually the velocity. Okay, and there are two more views actually, V's. So total, there are 5 views of the big data that we can say. 3 are basic like volume, velocity, and variety. And we have veracity and value as well. So once we have the data, the big data, what is the quality? What is the accuracy of the data that you are getting? And what is the final worth of that particular data? So if you recollect, when I say big data, the data has a potential to deliver the actionable insights. So the data has something in it, and you need to process it, and you need to find some meaningful information out of it. That's the big data. So that's actually what we speak of this veracity and value. And as I said, the data will be of variety of types. You have structured, you have unstructured, and you have semi-structured data. And if you look at the structured data, you have SQL tables of multiple RDBMS will cater to that. And your semi-structured data, maybe your XML documents or your email, because you will have a predefined sets, right, to from what is the subject and what is the body kind of thing. The unstructured data is everywhere now because of the emergence of the 5G and 6G we are speaking about. And we could able to stream data, we could able to process data within seconds and large volumes of the data. And data sits in your mobiles, data sits in your TVs, the data sits in all of IoT devices, right? So that data is not structured enough, actually, not semi-structured enough. So a lot of videos, a lot of images, a lot of documents, which contains again some documents which are actually combination of so many other things. So for example, if you look at a Facebook post, it can have everything, right? So it has text, it has audio, it has video, it has images. So all this is actually the unstructured data. And when I speak of semi-structured data, of course, JSON now the standard for data transport. You will find much of your web data as a JSON data. Now, what are the challenges of the big data? Firstly, we can speak of storage. When data is so big, you can't actually fit that into a single machine. You require a lot of hardware, and you require a lot of machines because the data is voluminous, enormous. So how do you do that? So one approach is actually store this data in multiple devices. So I have a laptop, you have a laptop, we will share, and we will actually place all our data distributed way. So how that happens? So I will come to that in the next slide. Now, the other challenge is how to process the data, which comes actually so quick. And a lot of varieties of the data that comes in so quick. And you have to process that almost in real time, right? Whether it is weather forecasting or it's any shopping application or it's any social media application like your Telegram or your X or Insta, or it can be any other media platforms. And that's a big challenge. And then complexity, varieties of the data. So we have RDBMS since 1970. If data is structured, I could able to store them properly in databases. Now we have later we got Mongos, and we have semi-structured database management systems where if the data is in the form of key value or name value kind of thing, we could able to store it. But is there any DB that can actually store unstructured data? So that's a big thing actually. So that's again a challenge that is posed by big data. And then you have the large volumes of the data, and how are you going to ensure the quality of the data, accuracy, consistency, reliability of that particular data? So you take a wrong data and you analyze it, and you will always get the wrong results. The quality is also important. How to ensure that? How to pre-process the data? That's also a big challenge. And in fact, security will be there on every layer. So how you protect your sensitive data from authorized access, leaks, etc. And at the same time, we need to provide real-time analytics. We want immediate results. So how we are going to handle this? So big data poses all these challenges, and what are the tools or what are technologies which are available? And I would like to introduce one open source framework that is available, and that is Hadoop framework. And of course, we have others also, but Hadoop actually is one of the standards, de facto standards for handling big data. And it's actually from Apache, and it has distributed storage, it has processing of large data sets. At the same time, it actually comes up with a lot of tools which actually solve the problems or the challenges which have been provided in the previous slide. So I just would like to give a quick overview of the Hadoop ecosystem. The first, the solution is HDFS that actually caters for the storage. So now what we do, we'll actually take commodity hardware. That means my system, your system, and all our systems will cluster together and we will store our data. Now you don't require a sophisticated hardware for that. So Hadoop actually works on commodity hardware, the cheaper hardware, and our data will get distributed across all these nodes. So for that, there is a technology that comes into the picture. And what happens? My data or my system goes down because I am actually storing my data in a distributed fashion. So your system is not available. So then how do I get the data? So then there comes actually the replicas. So when the data is getting stored, we will actually store the data in multiple other places also, so that one system down and you still have access. By default, HDFS follow 3 replica actually. The same piece of the data is getting stored in multiple 2 other devices. And then how do you actually process this data? So you have something called MapReduce. It introduce a concept of parallel processing, where you can actually divide all of your data into multiple chunks, or your code actually into multiple things, and at the same time they will be performing. That's what MapReduce, of course, in the next slides I can show you. And there is something called ARM, that is yet another resource negotiator. So that is actually for resource management, because I have so many nodes where my data is stored, and I have so many compute nodes where the compute is taking place of a distributed way. So how I would manage that? For that purpose, you require resource management, and Hadoop also provide you this ARM. And of course, there is Hive, there is HBase, there is Pig, there is Spark. So a lot many things actually which involves in retrieving the DB, retrieving the data from the HDBases, process it, and make that data get processed fast with the Spark, and applying certain AI into that. Okay, this is the HDFS which I am speaking about. So for example, you have 512 MB file. Now what you do is you actually divide them into chunks, and they will store the chunks into multiple devices. And in fact, you can actually have a replication also. So for the data availability, we have this copy stored in 2 other devices. Name node, data node, these are some of the nodes that we need to configure to manage all our nodes. Then MapReduce is something that I'm telling, so it can actually process the programming model for processing large data sets in parallel. So instead of actually making one component processing, so we'll have multiple components processing at the same time, so that you can actually get the outcome so fast. Okay, so famous word count problem you may be studying if you are actually part of the big data. And let me introduce something called big data lifecycle. And you need to understand each phase, what is this phase is about, and what are the tools that actually help us to do this job. So first, you should have a data. Data is created from various sources, maybe your social media platforms, or maybe your website, maybe your network, all the network traffic, and it can be from anywhere actually, right? So we are living in the age of internet, the high-speed internet. So data can come so fast, voluminously, from variety of ways. So data should get generated first, and that data has to be ingested. So that means you have to collect that information, and you have to get the data pushed into some storage. So for ingestion, we have a lot of tools available. So famous tools like Kafka is there, and there are a few others I will introduce, where you can actually ingest the data, and then you have to store. And for storage, you have HDFS and other technologies which are available. And then you have to process this data. So when you have the raw data, so you have to process it and you have to make little meaningful so that it can be used for analysis. Transforming raw data to analysis. So a lot of pre-processing work has to be done, and then we'll actually go into the analysis. And here we will be using a lot of statistical models. We'll be using a lot of ML models, machine learning models, and in fact, we can actually make use of GenAI over here in the analysis. And then whatever the insights that have come out has to be presented in a beautiful way. For that, we require something called visualization. And this is actually the life cycle. And I quickly tell you, so what are the tools or technologies are there at each of these phases. Okay, so one thing I would like to add also here is the cloud platforms. Maybe you have your on-premise hardware infrastructure. Otherwise, you need to actually rely on some of the cloud providers. Cloud providers will actually provide you the infrastructure on payment basis, right? So one should actually know about these cloud platforms, AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle, whatever actually. And those actually will provide you, of course, some services. And especially in this regard, we require some hardware to store, to process, etc. Right? And in fact, you can actually have your own on-premise hardware where you will have the full control, but it actually very costly because you should have all that hardware and you have to cluster it and you have to manage it, right? So big data demands cloud platforms as well, and you should also have the understanding of these cloud platforms. And coming to the storage aspects when I'm speaking about, so if you go with Hadoop, you have HDFS. Otherwise, you also have Apache Cassandra, which also has the high availability and scalability. And then you have MongoDB, where if your data is of semi-structured, then you can actually go with MongoDB. And we have in Hadoop ecosystem, we have one more called HBase. It's a column-oriented DB built on top of HDFS, so that you will bring your data from your raw HDFS back to the HBase, and then you will actually analyze this. So some of the technologies that one has to understand at that level. At the ingestion level, actually, we have some tools, mostly from Apache. Most of the tools you can actually find with respect to big data analytics is from Apache. So we have Kafka. It's a distributed streaming platform for real-time data feeds. And we actually use a lot of this kind of stuff because we handle the TBs of data on daily basis. And there are other technologies like Apache Nifi, Apache Flume, which actually help you to ingest data. And coming to the pre-processing and the analysis, so there are good number of libraries which are available, especially something from Spark, MLlib, Spark ML, and the programming languages that you need to know and you need to understand is Python for coding purposes, and understanding of the libraries, Python libraries like pandas, then NumPy, then plotting libraries like matplotlib, seaborn, then some AI libraries like scikit-learn, etc. and etc. are required. And in fact, the knowledge of Java is also helpful because most of these big data analytics platforms have been written in Java. So understanding Java will actually help you to go and configure the tools when actually you are working in a production ready environment. Of course, R is one of the languages which actually helps you to do strong statistical analysis. So these are some of the things that one has to know for analysis purpose. And then come to visualization. Okay, so if you once you are analyzed and you have insights, the actionable items that you have derived from this big data, you have to visualize it properly. So for that, there are visualization tools like Tableau, then there is a Power BI, and these are two popular visualization tools which industry uses. And you have so many others like d3.js. In fact, we can actually use Excel also for visualization, right? So these are some of the tools. If you require to learn, if you are a big data analytic aspirant, you want to become a data analyst or data engineer, some of these tools definitely are going to help you. Okay, so now let me actually take you to AI, the artificial intelligence, and let me actually give the interconnect between the big data and also the AI. So what we are going to do is we're going to understand what is AI, Gen AI, what is a large language model, what is RAG, retrieval augmented generation, and the current trend today is agentic AI. Let me give some insights on these things. Yeah, so this diagram actually gives you a good understanding about artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence is not new. It's not. It's not because of ChatGPT. Everybody is speaking of AI. AI is actually the term which is related to the computers since inception, right? So AI means any technique that enables computer to mimic human behavior. So whatever we code actually, right? And it's the system which automatically understands it and gives us some results. That's also an AI. Instead of I do, machine is doing for me, right? So, and this term is coined in 1956 in a conference in US. Okay, since Gen AI has come and everybody is speaking about the AI, but AI is there from the beginning. And later, the subset of AI, I can say, is machine learning that enables computer to learn pattern from the data. After around some 50 years of the rule-based AI, and since the emergence of 3G, 4G, and data is keep on coming, and there is a need actually to understand the data, then the ML has come into the picture, machine learning. So it understands the patterns from the data and gives the insights. So there are good number of models, and many of you who are studying or you have completed, you might have gone through how you have to create a model for a lot of predictions, etc. and etc. But mostly that is rule based. And then comes deep learning, which is subset of a machine learning that works more like a human brain. So our brain has a lot of neurons, in fact, the billions of neurons, and they take a decision, right? And the deep learning is because of the neural networks and hidden neural networks that do a lot of processing, and finally we'll come up with certain outcome. That is what deep learning. And then actually came generative AI. This generative AI is, again, we can say the subset of the deep learning, especially the neural networks. And of course, you might have heard about the transformer model, which actually made the generative AI come into the picture. And if you look at the NLP and the stage of NLP, so we started with the basic NLP, and then we have gone to the RNNs, then LSTMs, and the transformer model, which actually made the generative AI possible. With this, you can actually create new text, visuals, and lot many things. A lot of code generation can happen. A lot of automation is happening today. So now let's speak about the big data and how the big data has fueled for LLMs, large language models. So big data is large amounts of data, and this in fact has actually become a source for the LLMs to learn from it and come up with certain meaningful responses. So in order to enhance the big data and big data analytics, LLMs can be used effectively. Okay, so with the integration of these LLMs, we will have enhanced insights, we will have the simplified, quicker analysis, and we will have a lot of natural language processing happening. Now let's understand what is LLM and how it is going to do that. And of course, everybody here may be knowing about the LLM by this time. The large language models are the AI models that are trained on extensive data sets. As if it has learned from all the Wikipedia, it has learned from all the books of all the libraries of the world and all the web pages. It understood all the patterns, and when you ask a question, it is going to give you a response. So that's what an LLM, large language model. So we have a lot of developments that are happening in the LLMs. In fact, today we are living in the age of AI, which is actually driven by a lot of LLMs, large language models. So what they will actually do? So they train on a lot of data. So that may be structured, unstructured, textual, voice, images, signals, graphs, videos, whatever it is. It understands and it can actually provide you all the information. It can give you the question and answer types, it can summarize, it can translate. The problem of translation is almost solved with the LLMs, and it extracts useful information from it. It recognizes the objects, it captions the images, it generates the videos, a lot of things, and of course everybody aware of this. But the backbone is going to be your LLM, large language model. And some characteristics. When I speak of a large language model, you should understand actually the large language model and a chart application. So when I speak Chart GPT, it's an application, AI application. But Chart GPT uses LLM, and there are good number of LLMs, right? GPT 3.5, GPT 4.0, GPT 5, like that. The model, the base model is an LLM, and based on top of it, you are creating an application that is your Chart GPT or your Gemini or your Perplexity, whatever. And any LLM has tokens, and any LLM has parameters. We will speak of, right, an LLM of 20 billion parameters, an LLM of 80 billion parameters, 4 billion parameters. So the trained and vast data sets and gives actually versatile and general purpose things. And when you speak of LLMs, you guys may be using all of these LLMs, which are available on cloud through API access. You provided the internet, you go there, you have an API access, you may be subscribing to it, you have an API key, and you can actually using all those models. So GPT models, Claude, Anthropic, then your open your Google models like Gemini, Mistral, etc. So there are good number of models which are available based on the cloud. You can access it. So for example, if you go to the Hugging Face, you will find millions of models over there, and you can actually access them just by creating Hugging Face token, and you can use in your applications. In fact, what you also can do is you can download those models locally and you can actually use them. So when you download, there again you will have some system resource constraints, Further, there are models which are called quantized models. So quantization is a technique actually which make your 80 billion model coming in some 4 billion model. And instead of taking hundreds of GBs of memory, it actually can come in 2 GBs and 3 GBs. And you can try some of the models from Meta, the Llama models, and you have Mistrals, you have Falcon, you have DeepSeek, that's also available locally. And you can deploy it and you can actually make your application done. And LLMs gives us a lot of challenges. Okay, so the foundational models, the base models hallucinate a lot, and there are certain ethical concerns as well, and security and privacy issues. They leak information, and lack of explainability and cutoff times actually. So an LLM is trying till today cannot actually answer a question after a month of the recent activities. So there are good number of challenges or some demerits we can actually note for a foundational LLM, and we have to make sure these problems are solved. So now, for example, you actually go to ChatGPT and then you actually find what are the models it is using. In fact, you can find it and you can change the model and you can actually generate the response out of it. But those models are trained till some specific date. So cutoff times were there. So how your ChatGPT is able to give you the latest information even though the model has actually trained till specific date? So that need to be answered, and there comes actually retrieval augmented generation. So RAG is augmenting LLMs with specialized and mutable knowledge base. Apart from the knowledge that the LLM has, RAG actually makes to feed our context, our data feeds, our knowledge base, and our question can be answered from our context store with the help of the LLM. This is called RAG. And most of the chatbots that you see, whether it is ChatGPT, whether it's a notebook LLM, whether it is Gemini model, whether it is any Claude, or you go to the Grok, whatever actually, those all have these things integrated into. So when you ask a question to a chat application, which underlyingly uses certain LLM, but actually takes the context from the knowledge base or from the web sources, because they can go to the web and they can actually find the information and they can generate the text. So I think you might be knowing the difference between a search and the LLM response, right? The search is something which actually finds the exact document, whereas the LLM understands the data and provides you the response every time it generates a text. Okay, so in the RAG, what happens? You are supplementing some knowledge base to your LLM to generate the response. Okay, so how it happens? So I try to explain in this slide. So when you made a query, and this query actually goes to your knowledge base, it retrieves the information, and from that information, from that retriever, you will actually generate the response. Okay, so there are good number of tools that are used in this LLM RAG systems. One has to know about them. One has to know first the LLMs, and already some LLMs. Then LLM is actually has the context store, which is developed using certain embedding models. So what are different embedding models? Every LLM has its own embedding model. There are a good number of open source embedding models which actually can help us to convert all our tokens to the vectors, the numerical quantifiers. That's how it will work. All your text is actually stored as a numerical vectors, and those closed or similar vectors, the proximity vectors, are used to generate the response. That's how any LLM will work actually, right? So Mini-LM, BERT, MTEB are some of the embedded models, and where actually all these vectors will get stored. So there are certain vector databases will be used. So you have data, embedded model works on top of it, and it will create the embeddings, which are nothing but numerical quantifiers, which will get stored in a vector DB. And we have a lot of DBs that are available actually, which are open source and which are commercial. And this is actually the flow how your vectors are getting processed and stored into a DB. So your documents are chunked and then embedded and then put into vector DB. And these are some of the DBs which are available. And now the trend is about vector DBs since Gen AI has come into the picture. So we started in 1970s with RDBMS. Then we slowly moved to NoSQL DBs like Mongo. First, initially for 30 years or so, only SQL complement DBs, structured data, then NoSQL DBs. And then we are speaking about graph DBs, and we are speaking about the vector DBs. And you have open source and you have commercial vector DBs which are available, and most popular are Chroma, Quadrant, Milvus, and a lot of these DBs we will use as part of our team. And this is the complete RAG workflow, how it is actually augmenting the LLM. You have the context store, all the documents will be taken one by one, and your document is going to get chunked and then getting embedded and finally stored into your vector store. And when user makes a query, the query actually will first go to your vector store and the matched documents will be retrieved. And along with that matched docs, the user query will be sent to the LLM, the final LLM, the model, and it is going to generate you the response. Now, almost all your chatbots, wherever you see, will work like this only. In fact, you can actually start working with this RAG, and you can actually create your own chatbot for your specific purposes. So maybe you can create for your college, maybe you can create for all your notes which you have gathered for all these years, and you can actually have locally a downloaded model, and it is actually giving you the answers. And there are a good number of frameworks for this LLM RAG systems. So most popular are LangChain, and you have Llama Index, then Langflow, Llama CPP. So these are some of the frameworks, and one should have understanding about one or two of these frameworks to be competent enough in the current trend of AI phase. And by combining both the big data and the LLMs and the RAGs, you can actually solve the problems in a quicker way and more efficient way. So in fact, in our team, as we have a data analytics group here, and we do a lot of data analysis. We work on a lot of TBs of data. We do a lot of analytics, and we will actually properly present, and we have a good number of clients who use the data on regular basis. So we are blending both LLM and the big data, and we could able to deliver the things which are actually expected. So you take any of the area, whatever the area, whether it is healthcare, whether it is e-commerce, whatever the area you take, the blend actually can help you to get more promising and analytical insights. Okay, so the one word to say is integrating LLMs with the big data enables you advanced analytics and decision making, and which is actually going to be so faster than the traditional mechanisms. Okay, so then what is next actually? So in pre-2000, we have the rule-based AI, and then we started with data-driven insights, that is predictive AI using ML, and then generative AI is where we have witnessed, and now we are actually witnessing agentic AI. So what is agentic AI? Where we are actually going forward. So agentic AI is nothing but two AI systems speaking together and solving the problem. So with an LLM, with a RAG, what you're doing is you're building an AI system, and agentic AI is a framework or a system where your AI machines are speaking each other and taking the decisions autonomously and solving the problem. And this is where we are actually currently in the age. And this is how we can actually represent an agent. And these agents are actually going to communicate with each other. So then agentic AI will become. Okay, so now let's come actually to give some career guidance or advices of people who would like to see their career in big data, or they want to see their career in AI. And there are a lot of roles which are available. You can actually see data analysts, data engineers, big data engineer. So these are specifically to the big data. And then you have ML engineer, AI engineer, Gen AI engineer, the prompt engineer, ML ops, machine learning operations, AI product manager, research scientist. These are some of the roles which are available. And these are some of the salary ranges which I have actually picked and the demand in the current industry. So AI is required for every domain and it comes as a layer, but whatever I have gone through is the core AI requirement. And these are some of the career opportunities in big data and AI. And what industry expects and what is the required skill set for the aspirants. And especially in this domain, one should be good enough in Python and Python libraries. As I mentioned, should have good understanding of at least some 5 to 6 libraries with respect to data analysis. And again, pandas, numpy, scikit-learn. Then you have some visualization libraries. SQL is something which is required, definitely. And then statistical analysis, some R programming, understanding, in fact, data structures, collections, understanding about the cloud platforms for deployment. Maybe CI/CD pipelines would help. And then APIs, so how to create REST APIs and how to consume the REST APIs. Some frameworks like Fast API may help actually to understand that. And the LLM frameworks. How to come up with good LLM framework, maybe LangChain would help, and any other Salama index also can be explored. And apart from that, you should also have the professional skills, the nice communication, the problem solving capabilities, and team collaboration with the individuals, collaboration with the team, critical thinking, and understanding about your domain. Okay, so everybody speak of AI, right? So AI is replacing everything, but it can't replace your communication, your problem solving capability, your critical thinking, your domain understanding. So we should be good at our own self, and that definitely is not replaceable by AI. And for industry, when actually you come up or you appearing for a job, industry also looks at the portfolio of projects, what all projects you've done. So let's actually have a nice understanding of your projects, what problems you solved, what specific problems you actually solved, making up nice problem statement, coming up with a proper solution, how your solution actually improving the existing system. And let's have some GitHub profile where all your repos are available, and having good hands-on through internships. So you already seen some of the internships which are offered by C-DAC Hyderabad. So you can enroll for them, kind of work-based learning, other things. And you should also have open source contributions, definitely that will add up, and continuous learning. So technology changes rapidly, and actually a saying, change is constant in IT, right? So whatever today, tomorrow may not be there, right? So change is constant. It should be in a continuous learning mode. Okay, so yeah, so with this, I would like to conclude my talk on this big data analytics and AI. And let me actually do one correlation here. So since I'm speaking about this big data and AI, if you have actually followed the PG diploma courses that C-DAC is offering, so we have actually two courses. One is Big Data Analytics, that is BDA, PGCP BDA, where we cover 50% of the big data technologies and 50% of analysis, where we'll also introduce to ML, Gen AI, NLP, and towards agentic AI. And of course, we have one more specialized course on AI itself, that is PGCP AI, Artificial Intelligence, which actually speak of core AI concepts from the beginning, and we actually cover all the possible areas of the AI through that particular course. So with this, I conclude, and I request everybody to explore the possibilities of enhancing your career by associating with the C-DAC Hyderabad. Okay, so thank you so much, and hope you understood. And let me request you for the questions if you have any.
So I think there are no questions from the participants.
Okay,
Thank
fine.
you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good time. Have a good day.
Thank you, Sadhu, for a wonderful presentation. So the next speaker is Mr. M.K. Chaitanya, scientist working with C-DAC Hyderabad Center, and he'll be sharing some of his experiences and details related to cybersecurity, forensics, blockchain, and secure software development. Okay, Chaitanya, are you there? Chaitanya.
I'm sharing my
Yeah,
screen.
yeah. Over to you, Chaitanya. You can continue. You can present.
Kumar, can you please confirm whether my screen is visible?
Your screen is visible. You please turn on the camera.
Okay, okay. Is it okay now?
Nice. Okay. Please proceed.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, all of you. I know that it's already 1:15 and it is lunchtime, and I am in between you people and lunch. So, I will try to finish the session at the earliest. At the same time, I will not skip any important concepts. So, try to cover the major topics in the cyber security, right? And one more thing, I'm not going to give you any technical presentation today about cyber security. So my focus of this presentation is majorly towards a brief or gist of cyber security and why it is important. What is the current state of cyber security in the country? What is the gap for cyber security professionals currently, and how to fill that gap? And for you to become a cyber security professional, so what are the skill set you need to acquire? And once you become a cybersecurity professional, what kind of opportunities you will get? So this is in brief about my today's presentation. So what is cybersecurity? So it is a practice of protecting digital systems, networks, devices, and data from unauthorized access, damage, or misuse. Let me explain. So first of all, what is digital systems? We all know what are digital systems. So, and we are all very quickly moving towards digitization, and almost we have moved also. Like now we use laptops, desktops, and from there we move to the mobiles, and then we have the servers at the back end, and all those things together we call it as a digital systems. And in order to communicate between these systems, maybe from a mobile to the server or a laptop to a server, or in between the mobile and the laptop, whatever, so we need to have a network in between these digital systems to communicate between each other. So these are the various devices, digital systems, and they need to communicate, and for that we need networks. And on top of that, finally what you will be communicating, so finally what you will be communicating is data, right? And what is more important here is, now that we have the digital systems and the data is being communicated between these digital systems, security of this data is at utmost important. So the data should be going to only the authorized users, and it should not go into the wrong people, and it should not be damaged. Whatever data I am sending, that should be received properly, and the data should not be misused. So the one which assures all these things in digital systems, that is what is the cyber security. Let me draw a small analogy. Like you have your homes, for those you have the doors, locks, and gates, right? And whenever you go out or you are inside also, you will lock the doors so that no one enters into your house. And whenever someone comes, knocks the door, you will see like whether you know that person or not, and whether that person is allowed inside your house or not. Then only you will open the doors. So that means there is some kind of security mechanisms in place already, right? Physical security, we can say. In the similar way, for our digital systems also, some security mechanisms should be in place to secure the data in transit and to secure the data in communication, and it doesn't fall into the wrong hands and not misused. A simple example is, so whatever smartphones you have, so in order to access that smartphone, you need to enter a pin or a fingerprint or a facial recognition or whatever. So what we call this as, this is authentication. That means the right person is accessing your digital system, your mobile or laptop or whatever. Okay. So every digital system needs its own equivalent form of protection. A similar way, the digital systems also should be protected, and that is through cyber security. Cyber security is that protection for systems, data, and networks. So these days we use a lot of digital systems, and no need to mention. So from your mobile to the laptop to the desktop to the servers, everything is digital these days. You want to transfer money through an UPI, so you have an app, and that app is installed on your device, and through that you are transferring the data. So but can anyone get access to your mobile device and get access to your UPI app and transfer the money? It should not be the case, right? Only the authorized user should be able to access your mobile device and access your UPI app to transfer the money. So for that, what you will be giving, in the first level you will be giving a biometric, your fingerprint, or you will be giving a pin or a password, right? So that is the authentication. Then you have something called authorization. So what is authorization and what is the difference between authentication and authorization? So coming back to our same analogy of our house, suppose he is allowed, suppose someone has come to your house actually. So he is an authentic person and you have allowed him inside the house. But does it mean that he can go into each and every room of your house? Will you be giving access to him to each and every room of your house? No, right? So suppose a plumber has come. So you will be giving access to him only to the bathroom, washrooms. And suppose some electrician has come. right? Or some maid has come. So you will giving access to a particular location where you are supposed to give access to that particular person. Similarly, even though that person is authenticated and he has entered your digital system, that doesn't mean that he will get access to the complete data and all the systems and servers actually. So based on the level of access that the person is having, suppose he is a system administrator, he will have access to the complete system. So suppose he is a normal user, he will have access to only that particular specific user details. Like that, based on the role defined for that particular user, the data access will be provided to that particular user. This is authorization. So authentication and authorization are the basic security mechanisms of your cyber security. Along with that, you have some more security concepts such as confidentiality, integrity, and availability. We call these as the CIA triad. So confidentiality is nothing but whatever data you are transferring, that should be reaching the destination safely, and at the same time no one else should be able to read that data actually. That is confidentiality. And how we enforce confidentiality in our digital systems? With the support of encryption. So whatever data we want to transfer from one system to the other system, we will be encrypting that data and transferring it over the network so that no one else will be able to read your data. That is confidentiality. And the next one is integrity. So what is integrity? Integrity is nothing but the assurance that whatever data you have received is the same as what the sender has sent you, and it is not modified in the middle. So that is what is enforced with the support of integrity. So how to enforce this integrity? There are, like, you enforce the confidentiality through encryption, you enforce the integrity through some hash mechanisms. There are certain algorithms, so hash algorithms. So with those hashing algorithms, you enforce integrity, right? Suppose what happens if the integrity is not there? Suppose you are doing a UPI transfer of, suppose you wanted to do 100 rupees, but in the middle someone has got hold of your data and they just changed that 100 to 10,000 suppose, and they have sent that packet to the server. So server may think like, okay, I need to transfer 10,000 from this account to this account. So that means this is a violation of the security, right? So that is why integrity is another major important concept in cyber security, where whatever data is sent by the sender, it should be received by the receiver in the same format and same data without any change in the data. And then we have the availability. Availability is nothing but that service should be available to the users. Suppose you are accessing a banking server, and if the server is down, what happens? You will not be able to access its services. Or some government services are there, they are hosting a application, web application, and if that server or web application is down, will you be able to access that particular service or data? You will not be able to. So availability is another important aspect of digital systems and the cyber security, where the service should be available and someone should not attack your system and make your services down, so that no one else uh, be able to use the system actually. So examples of these attacks on availability includes denial of service attacks, distributed denial of service attacks, uh, where you will be pushing a lot of packets to the server so that the server becomes down and inaccessible. So this confidentiality, integrity, and availability are core concepts of cyber security, which need to be enforced by any digital system in addition to the authentication and authorization. So this is a brief about cyber security. Let us move on to the next slide. So there is no need to say India is going digital, and that too in a very rapid pace. And these are some of the statistics which says like 806 million internet users are there in India as of 2025, and 85% of households own a smartphone. You see, 85% of people or households owning a smartphone means it is so close to the uh, 100% of population actually. And then you see 86 households have internet access. That means majority of the population are now connected to internet, and that too majorly through these smartphones actually. And then you see the volume of digital payment transactions which happened in the financial year 2024-25. 849 lakh crore rupees transferred over various digital payment transactions in the country. So these statistics say there is no doubt that India is moving towards digitization in a very rapid pace, and that is where the problem is also. The more the digitization, the more the cyber threats, the more the attacks, and the more it is required to secure our systems, right? And almost every sector you see this digitization, and no need to say that this is the sector, that is the sector which is going into digitization. Almost every sector is moving towards digitization these days, either through a mobile application or a web application. And if you see the kind of threats happened in India in the recent past, the threat scenarios in India are something like 26.5 crore cyber threat detections across Indian systems in 2025. That means around 26 crore threats were detected. So these are only the detected threats. You don't know how many have gone undetected also. So that is the volume of attacks that are being happening on our digital systems in the country. And 29.44 lakh cyber incidents were handled by CERTIN. CERTIN is one of the government organization, India's National Cyber Response Agency, right? Computer Emergency Response Team, the full form is. So, and they look at the kind of threats that are happening in the country, and they see how to mitigate those threats and how to handle those threats actually. And then we have 22,495 crore rupees of cyber fraud happened, and people have lost this much of amount just in 2025. You see the volumes, how much money people are losing because of these various cyber attacks, right? And apart from money, breaches are there to data also. 31 million customer data is leaked from one of the health insurance companies recently. I don't want to mention the name of that company. And AI based attacks are increasing rapidly. And we have also issues like deep fake videos and all those things. So these are the various threat scenarios currently in the country. And incidents nearly tripled in 3 years from 2022 to 2025. So that is a volume of attacks that are happening in our digital space of the country. And in order to protect the user's data, so, and you see in the previous slide the kind of statistics we have for the data losses, data breaches that are happening. And I have just given one example that 31 million customer user data is leaked or breached. That is only one incident, and there are hundreds of such incidents are there. And considering this, the government has brought in a new act called the DPDP Act, which is the Digital Personal Data Protection Act. Whatever data any company is collecting in a digital form from the users, so all that data is covered under this DPDP Act 2023, which says that a proper consent should be taken from the user before collecting any data from the user, and you should clearly define like what is the purpose of collecting the data, and that data should be used only for that particular whatever consent is given, particular use case, and it should not be, data should not be misused for any other purposes, or it should not be shared with any other organization. So before this act, a lot of your personal data which is collected by various organizations is being shared or sold by these organizations to the marketing agencies actually. So in order to prevent these kind of threats or compromises on the users' data, government has brought this DPDP Act, which says that every organization must protect the personal data of its users. Data breaches must be investigated and documented. So there are certain rules which are defined, and everyone should follow those rules, and within that framework the data should be protected, and if any data breach happens, that should be thoroughly investigated. And if it is found that because of improper or inappropriate security mechanisms, inadequate security mechanisms in place, because of which the data is breached, those companies will be heavily fined. And even if someone finds out that the data is being misutilized, rather apart from what it is meant for and collected for, so those organizations will be heavily fined. That means now data should be protected with respect to the laws that are framed. There is a IT Act also and many other acts also apart from this DPDP Act, and the data should be protected within the framework of those laws and acts. So for protecting this data, and we have seen that a lot of attacks are happening, and even government brought out new laws which says the data should be protected. But for protecting this data against these attacks and in compliance with these laws, there should be security professionals available in the country, right? And if you see what is the requirement within the country, 1 million plus cyber security professionals are required in India, and currently only half that number are available. That means there is a need for 10 lakh mobile cyber security professionals, and out of which currently only around 5 lakh professionals are there, and that means there is a huge gap and that need to be filled. And 1900 crore plus allocated for cyber security in union budget 2025-26. Even government is allocating huge budget for securing the users data in the country. And many organizations in many sectors these days are hiring cyber security professionals. And no need to say, all the major firms, IT and software companies, banks, healthcare organizations, everywhere there is a need for cyber security professionals. Even the startups, telecom companies, government agencies, all these people are hiring cyber security professionals, because it's not just a need now, it is enforced by the law also, that the data which is being collected should be enforced. So there is a lot of requirement for cyber security professionals. And the key point here is the shortage is because there are not enough trained people. That gap is your opportunity. Because there are no enough trained people, that is where there is a gap. And that gap becomes an opportunity for someone who enhance their skills in the domain of cyber security. So within the umbrella of cyber security, there are so many subdomains. That you have the network security, means data which is being transmitted over the network or various communication channels should be secured. There is mobile security, there is IoT and embedded security. So these days we all know what is IoT, and I think you have heard some session also from Mr. Sikant on IoT in the previous sessions. So within your house itself, there are a lot of devices which are connected over internet, like your refrigerators is there, your washing machines are there, your ACs are there, your cars are there, which all are now connected to internet actually. So once they are connected to internet, then they are also prone to all kind of cyber security attacks that your other systems like desktops or laptops are prone to actually. So there is a need to secure your IoT and embedded devices also. And there is another important area which is digital forensics. So securing is one part of it. And suppose an attack has happened, some say data breach has happened. Someone need to investigate how the breach has happened and what is the impact of that breach. That is dealt by the digital forensics. And then you have the vulnerability research. There are opportunities in the research and development also in vulnerability. So where someone can analyze the softwares, various applications, mobile applications, web applications, network protocols. So someone can analyze these protocols and see if these applications or protocols have any vulnerabilities, and see do a research on that and see what kind of vulnerabilities are there and how those vulnerabilities can be fixed. That is another important area in the domain of cyber security. We have web application security, cloud security. No need to say, nowadays the complete servers are being moved to cloud, and your servers data, everything is being hosted by the cloud. So it is very important to secure your cloud environments also. And we have uh, under cyber security malware analysis, where we have lot of categories of malware, like viruses are there, ransomware are there, spyware is there, trojans are there. So like that, under the umbrella of malware, again there are a lot of different categories, and someone need to really analyze and understand how these malware, these viruses are behaving actually. So that is another area under cyber security. We have the cryptography, which talks about the mathematics of uh, encryption and decryption. That is cryptography. You need to have some algorithms to encrypt the data and decrypt the data. That part will be dealt by the cryptography. So you see, these days in the era of quantum computing, once the quantum computer becomes a reality, none of our current legacy cyber security systems are safe, and we need to move to the post quantum cryptography, where even the quantum systems are ready, your systems are not breached. So you need to move your algorithms to a quantum safe. Your systems, your applications, everything should be quantum safe, and that you will achieve through a post quantum cryptography. That is another big area under cyber security. And then we have many other things like offensive and defensive security. We have the red teams, blue teams, purple teams. We have vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. We have the SOC, SIEM, and all those things are there. You see the kind of breadth and depth in the domain of cyber security. So considering this, there will be huge opportunities in the domain of cyber security. And cybersecurity is not a single job, it is a field with as many specialists you have as in this domain of medicine or law actually. And having understood that what is cybersecurity, why it is important, and what are the various domains in cybersecurity, what is the current threat landscape within the country. So now, in order to address these challenges, and if you want to become a cybersecurity engineer, cybersecurity professional, you need to acquire certain skills, which are as mentioned in this slide. So you need to be good in the fundamental knowledge of the various protocols, network protocols like this TCP, IP, HTTP, HTTPS, DNS. So there are various network protocols. So one need to understand all these network protocols. You need to have a good understanding the operating system fundamentals. You need to also understand how the applications are built. Say it can be a web application, or it can be a mobile application, or it can be any other application. So you need to understand how these applications are built. So for that, you need to know the basics of programming and scripting languages, like this Java, C, C++, and this Python, JavaScript, and all these scripting languages one should know to become a good cybersecurity professional. And how database storage happens, databases also, you should have a good understanding databases. Along with that fundamental knowledge, you need to have some security specific technical skills also, like what is these vulnerabilities, what are this network traffic, how to analyze this network traffic, and how to analyze the system logs, and what are the basic concepts of cyber securities, as I mentioned: authentication, authorization, confidentiality, integrity, availability. So what are the various secure coding practices, and what is a threat, what is a vulnerability, what is a bug, what is an attack, how to mitigate these attacks. So these are all the basics of cyber security that one need to understand. Apart from that, you need to have a mindset and professional skills, what kind of mindset you should have. You So cybersecurity professional is not just a coding job or a developer job. So you must be really curious to know the things. Actually, you must really dig deep into things to understand the vulnerabilities and to find out a solution to fix those. So, and you need to give attention to minute details also to see if any vulnerabilities exist in a particular system. So these kind of professional skills are also required along with the technical skills, and you need to also have the hands-on practice to become a good cyber security professionals. And in this era of AI, so AI tools are now used for threat detection. So nowadays the attackers are heavily using the AI tools to detect vulnerabilities in a particular system, uh, and to attack those systems, exploit those vulnerabilities to breach the data. So it is important as a developer also. So if the attacker is using the AI, so it is important as an analyst also to use the AI to find out the vulnerabilities. So you must be as fast as the attackers, and even you should be one step ahead of the attackers. So that's why it is important that all the cybersecurity professionals also need to learn this AI along with this skill set, along with the basics of cybersecurity and programming languages and the practical hands-on experience. Some need to understand the basics of AI and you how to use these AI tools to be a step ahead of these attackers. And these are the various career roles and industries that are available in the domain of cybersecurity. If you see, there are SOC analysts, penetration testers, ethical hackers, vulnerability researchers, malware analysts, digital forensic analysts. You see, lots and lots of opportunities are there, and lots of domains are there in the under the cybersecurity. And if you see the industries, each and every industry these days need a cybersecurity professional, because whichever industry collects the data, so hosts the digital systems, so all those industries need a cybersecurity professional now. Actually, just developer is not sufficient these days, and in order to secure these digital systems, the cybersecurity professionals are equally important or more important than these developers these days, I can say actually. So, and this AI is not only uh, impacting the jobs, but it is also creating new roles also, like AI security researcher, AI red teamer. So like this AI based cybersecurity roles are also increasing these days, where one need to understand the cybersecurity domain. Along with that, they need to understand how to use these AI tools, so that you become a good AI and cybersecurity professional. And then under the digital forensics, as I mentioned, forensics is something which analyzing something which has already happened. Some incident has happened, some data breach has happened, some cyber security attack has happened. So you need to analyze how that particular attack has happened. That is the incident analysis, that is the digital forensics. So under this, again, you have disk forensics, hard disk forensics, like memory forensics, RAM forensics, network forensics, mobile forensics. Under this digital forensics also, you have lots and lots of subdomains actually. And blockchain is another trending technology, so which is slowly but gradually penetrating into the market. So if you don't know what is blockchain, I will just brief you in a one liner. Blockchain is a decentralized and distributed digital ledger. So I will explain what it means. Ledger means, in general, forget about blockchain. Ledger means some accounts that you write in books actually, right? Whatever accounts you write in books, that is the ledger. And what is digital ledger? So whatever these data or accounts or whatever you maintain in the digital form, that is the digital ledger. And it is a distributed and decentralized ledger actually. So if it is a normal centralized database, all data will be available in a single location. But it in a distributed and decentralized ledger, the data will be distributed across various systems and servers, which is cryptographically secured. And one of the important characteristics of blockchain is it is immutable. Immutable in the sense, once anything you write in the blockchain, any change you do in the blockchain, that cannot be reverted back actually. So that means in a normal databases, it will be possible for you to delete the data and append new data, or you do changes to the data. But here in blockchain, even if you do some change to the data which is stored, uh, the previous data also will be there, the corrected data also will be there, and the complete uh, details will be there, like who has changed this data, at what time, what timestamp they have changed the data, what is the previous data, what is the data after it is changed. Like that, it is completely tamper resistant and tamper proof and immutable. Immutable means someone cannot change the data. That is what is the immutable. So however, the applications built on top of it are not automatically secure. So that means, so even though the data which is stored in the blockchain is secure, the applications which you write to run these blockchains itself are maybe sometimes vulnerable and insecure. So it is important, like in blockchain also, there is a need for cyber security professionals to write secure code. And that code, whatever you write in blockchain, is called as the smart contracts. There is specific terminology in the blockchain, that whatever code you write in the blockchain, we call it as smart contracts, and this complete thing is cryptographically secured actually. So that means there are opportunities in the domain of blockchain also. So there is a need for blockchain security professionals also. And then on top of all these things, whatever it is, finally there is a need to write a secure software, so without any vulnerabilities. So that is where the secure software developers role is very, very important. So why all these attacks happening, why these vulnerabilities? Because someone is not writing a secure code. That is the reason these all are attacks or data breaches and all those things are happening. So in order to mitigate these things, the first and foremost important thing is, whatever applications we develop, that should be secure by design. So we call it a secure software development life cycle, where the application should be securely designed, securely implemented or developed, securely tested, and securely deployed. So this is what is the secure software development life cycle. And in each phase of this life cycle, security should be a part of it. So that is where the importance of DevSecOps is increasing these days, where security should be implemented at that right from the design phase to the deployment phase. And there also there are a lot of job opportunities like DevSecOps engineer, product security engineer, like that. You have again a lot of opportunities. And no need to say, AI is impacting our lives a lot. So it can be used for a right ways, for a good purpose, and the AI can be used for a bad purpose also. So that is where the attackers are using the AI to attack your systems. Some system earlier, before AI, it may take 1 week or 1 month maybe to attack. Now in the scenario of AI, that can be attacked and breached within hours to minutes actually. That is the kind of impact the AI is bringing in the domain of cyber security. And that is where the cyber security professionals also, the analysts also, should be equipped with AI, so that they can be ahead of these attackers actually. So what this means for you as a student? So you need not be an expert right from the day one. You need not become an AI expert, but yes, you need to understand what is AI and how it can impact the cyber security, and how I can use this AI to enhance the cyber security. What are the various AI tools available and how I can use those tools? That kind of at least basic understanding is required as a cyber security professional these days. And if you want to become a cybersecurity professional, what is that C-DAC is offering? So C-DAC is offering a PGCP ASSD course, which is nothing but a postgraduate certificate program in advanced secure software development. So which is again a 24-week course, as Sharon has explained earlier. And what are the key highlights of this course is, so as we have mentioned, what are the various domain expertise or the skill set that is required to become a cyber security professional. the first important thing is you must know the basic fundamentals of the programming. That is where we are teaching the C data structures, C++ and Linux system programming. These are the fundamental programming concepts that we are teaching as part of this course. Along with that, you need to have the foundation of cybersecurity concepts. So that is where we have three major modules, which is the secure software engineering, secure web application development, and cryptography and network security. So these are the three modules which are focusing on the cybersecurity fundamentals and fundamentals to the advanced concepts. And then also we have the AI for cybersecurity module, so which is complementing the skills of the cybersecurity with the AI. So this is the course which we are offering. So if someone is interested to become a cybersecurity professional, this is the right course, so you should opt. And these are some of the important links if you want to connect with C-DAC. These are C-DAC website links and the careers links, and then the link to the courses, how to apply and course admission details. Everything you will be able to find in our C-DAC website. And as you see, the 26th May is the last date for application for this particular course, and 4th and 5th July are the exam, and the next batch commencement is from 24th August 2026. So if someone is really interested to become a cyber security professional, yes, this is the right course you need to opt for. So the very limited time is there. I request you all to go and immediately register and you opt for this course. So that's all from my side. So any questions?
Chaitanya, one person is asking what is the ideal roadmap for a fresh cybersecurity graduate in 2026?
Yeah, for a fresh cybersecurity graduate. So these days you see lot of roles are there even for a fresh cybersecurity graduate. The entry level positions are also there, where analysts is one of the area which you can look at actually, or a certified ethical hacker is another area you can look at actually. So mobile security analyst is there, which you can find at an entry level itself actually. And VAPT is another important area which as a fresher you can look at, vulnerability assessment and penetration tester actually. So these are the entry level opportunities that you will get as a cyber security professional. And going forward, once you get the seniority, you will have more experienced job roles, like a security architect is there, like that senior security analyst is there, SOC analyst is there, CME. So these are the, for these roles maybe some level of expertise and experience is required, but as an entry level, so as I mentioned, VAPT, certified ethical hacker, and these are the areas which you can look at, mobile application analyst kind of actually. So any other questions? So there is one question from Sheikh Imran, who is asking, cybersecurity is evolving very rapidly with new threats, tools, and technologies. Yes, exactly. And I'm sorry, 1 minute. Yeah. As a student and future cybersecurity professional, what is the best way to stay updated with industry trends? So as I agree with you, like the domain is changing so rapidly that you must be in line with those advancements, whatever is happening in the technology. But whatever it is, finally the basic concepts and fundamentals remain the same. And on top of that, if you see now, AI is the new trend actually. So you need to really learn how to use these AI tools and to find out vulnerabilities or to mitigate those vulnerabilities. So what I mean is the basics always remain the same. On top of that, in accordance with the current trending technologies, you must be learning those technologies also along with the fundamentals. So is it possible to join in government related sectors in the forensics field after graduating from cybersecurity? Yes, of course. There are a lot of opportunities even in the government sector. You see, a lot of organizations are there who are exclusively looking into the cybersecurity. Like as I have mentioned, the CERTIN is there. The Intelligence Bureau is there, and you also have the I4C. There are many more organizations as such. NSCS is there, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology is there, and you also have almost 16 National Forensic Sciences laboratories are also established, NFSUs established across the country. So there are a lot of opportunities for you across these organizations as an analyst and various other roles. So someone asking Saswata. So I have interest in SOC and cyber forensics, but can't find any proper resources and hands-on experience. What should I do now as a fresher? So as I mentioned, as a fresher, you need to first look into the entry-level jobs as an analyst. You can see as a VAPT analyst, vulnerability analyst, and those kind of roles, or a certified ethical hacker. You start your career in that direction, and then gradually you enhance your skills and go to the SOC analyst and those. So I think at an entry level, getting jobs in a SOC or a SIEM may be difficult, but first you enter into the domain of cyber security, and then gradually with our experience, expertise, you can definitely move towards your specialization in cyber security like a SOC or a SIEM actually. So people are asking, can AI replace human intervention in future in cyber security? So definitely there is going to be an impact on cyber security because of AI, but I don't think AI will completely replace a cyber security expert actually. Definitely human intervention will be required. And if you say that whether AI is going to replace an entry level developer, yes, I may say AI may replace an entry level developer, but that may not be true for a cyber security because still there will be a human intervention which would be required to take the decisions and patching the vulnerabilities and hosting them securely actually. So I am a final year BTech cybersecurity student and would like to stay connected and learn from your expertise. May I connect with you? I think so. A lot of cybersecurity courses are being offered by C-DAC also. So you can regularly go through our websites. For students, for professionals, we are offering various cybersecurity courses. So whenever there is some course which is offered by C-DAC which is of interest for you, so you can always enroll to that. And many of these courses are offered for free by the government of India, and you can enroll and you can always update and enhance your knowledge in that direction. And how can students gain practical expertise if they don't get a cybersecurity internship? So who said that you are? So there are a lot of opportunities even in the cybersecurity as an internship also. Certain is offering cybersecurity internships, CDAC is offering cybersecurity internships, and yes, there are lots and lots of online courses and materials also available in addition to these things, where you have the labs hosted under ICA. Also there is a virtual platform that is being hosted, so where you can just log in into the platform and you can do a lot of experimentations on this cyber security. So I'm not sure, Kumar, that platform is already available in the public, or that will be launched shortly.
Which platform you're talking about?
ICA, there is one IVP platform is being planned under the ICA project, na?
Okay. I'm not sure, Chaitanya.
Okay.
So we can explore ICA portal.
There are a lot of
ICA.gov.in.
labs. You can visit the C-DAC ICA portal also, and you can look at there actually. And even a lot of online courses and materials are also, online labs are also available, and you can do the practice by yourself if you are not getting a cyber security internship actually. And I suggest you can do the entry level certification also, like the certified ethical hacker, and also you can do this DSSD course also with us, so to enhance your expertise in cyber security. And lot more questions are, another 3 to 4 questions are there. I will answer this. So do we need a postgraduate degree for those government roles? And is it necessary to do certifications like CH? I don't say that a post graduation course is mandatory, but skills is more important. So So to enhance those skills, like the DSSD course, PGC, whatever course I was mentioning, Advanced Secure Software Development course, or the CH. So definitely you need to enhance your skill set, and for that, either a post graduation degree or at least some certifications would really help to start your career either in a government organization or in a private organization also. So what skills are companies finding missing in cybersecurity graduates today actually? So the basic fundamentals, I should say. So because as a recruiter, I do a lot of interviews and I interview a lot of students in the domain of cybersecurity, and I ask very basic questions of cybersecurity like what is confidentiality, what is integrity. Forget about advanced concepts. I am just looking for someone who knows just the basics of cybersecurity. That kind of basic cybersecurity fundamentals are also lacking these days in various students. And as a recruiter, that is what definitely is the first thing I will be looking at before looking into any advanced concepts, because once you are familiar with the fundamental concepts and you have the passion to learn, you will be able to learn any new concepts. That is not an issue, but be strong in your fundamentals. That is my advice. So I have interest in ethical hacking. I have done many online certifications, but I am confused which certification or degree should I pursue to get a job or a complete roadmap? You said you have done many online certifications. You have already done certifications. So certification is one part of it, but on top of it, what is the knowledge you have acquired through those certifications is much more important. So once you are familiar with the fundamentals, as I have mentioned already, that is the most important thing. So on top of these certifications, first you must be familiar with your fundamental concepts, strong in these concepts. On top of that, you must have the certifications. Then definitely you will get a job in the domain of cybersecurity. So this question is for you, Kumar. I have already applied for work-based learning under C-DAC. I would like to know the next steps.
Work-based learning, the last date to apply for work-based learning is for some centers it is second week of July, for some centers it is third week of July. So after the last date is over, we will be scrutinizing the applications, we'll be screening the applications, and we will call the eligible candidates for the selection interviews. So purely on the merit basis, we will be selecting the candidate for the internship opportunity. So the people who have already applied for the WBL internship, I request them to wait for the call.
Any more questions?
I think we are done with the questions.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.
So one small thing to the participants. You see, first of all, thank you very much for sparing your time and listening to all 4 sessions that are conducted by C-DAC Hyderabad resource persons. So if you find any information useful to you and to your friends and your other student community, you please share with them. You please share all the details with them. Okay. And also, we have recorded this video. We are streaming this video on YouTube also. In case if someone has missed the video, uh, uh, if someone has not participated in the session, so they can always go back and they can watch all the videos. Okay. So thank you very much. So if anyone is interested in PG certificate courses, 23rd June is the last date. They can apply to the PG certificate courses. For the people who have already graduated and who are looking for employment opportunity, today is the last date for applying to various positions in C-DAC. So please keep these dates in mind and apply accordingly and utilize the opportunity properly. Thank you very much for the time. So we'll be closing this session now. Thank you.